chains off my brain. I broke the code to the matrix, pain in my veins. But now it's peace, I'm chasing fake hugs, fake dabs. Left them all in the basement, growth on my chest. Truth's the only replacement. BlizzardAbroad, peace in my hands, I'm the mission. Brotherhood tight, worldwide with the vision. Left the pain back, no rewind, no submission. Real talk, real man, this my soul's ambition. Walking through the shadows, I found light in the rubble. Built from the ashes, turn my grind into muscle. No more trust for the snakes, dodging all of the hustle. Inner peace, loud victory through the struggle. Feet touch foreign land, still grounded in my roots. Global sounds bumping, but my story's the proof. Truth in the mirror while we build for the youth. Blizz in the building, let them all see the truth. Eyes on the prize, no disguise, I'm the essence. Every scar on my soul taught me life lessons. Brotherhood worldwide, different flags, same message. Unity the weapon, keep the fake ones guessing. BlizzardAbroad, peace in my hands, I'm the mission. Brotherhood tight, worldwide with the vision. Left the pain back, no rewind, no submission. Real talk, real man, this my soul's ambition. BlizzardAbroad, BlizzardAbroad, BlizzardAbroad. Peace in my hands, I'm a mission. Yeah, yeah.
Peace, peace. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing tonight, man? Y'all hear me? Everything good? Q, what up, bro? What up, man? Kamal, what's up? TJ in the building. Cisco in the building. MK in the building, man. Salute to all y'all, man. I hope y'all doing good. I'm doing good, man. Just started back working. Like 3 days, man. I'm happy to be back to work, man. I know it sounds weird, but yo, I'm loving it. Loving it, man. So, how y'all doing, man? Let me see what y'all got, man. Supposed to be out getting Mikey a scooter. Q, bro, what's up, man? What's going on, man? How you? So the topic, man, I got a topic tonight, man. Everybody's talking, but nobody's listening. And I was thinking about this from my last, from my last live stream when I had Chosen One up. But not only that, not just him, it's everywhere, man. We have a group text. We have a family group text. And every once in a while, they'll start a debate in there. And it's like, man, it's not, y'all not even listening to each other, man. Like everybody's talking, but nobody's listening, man. Like we're too busy looking for a fight, man. Like we'll listen to a whole conversation, a whole monologue, listening for one wrong phrase, one wrong word, one misplaced word, just to pounce on it, man. What are we fighting about? What are we arguing about, man? Like, let's be real, man. We're fighting over shit that we don't even control. Fighting over things that's specifically designed to distract us, right? We're fighting over who's more right about subjects that none of us are experts at. We're fighting over who knows more when none of us are fucking experts. Like, let's be real, man. Everybody's talking, but nobody's listening, man. When did it become about who's louder? Like, because that's what it is nowadays, man. When real men go silent, it's left to the wolves, and the loudest ones win because the real men are silent. The people who are willing to sit down and have conversations and learn from one another. RS, what up, brother? Expat, how you doing, Adam? When did we stop sharing information? When did we start, going on expeditions, to find fault in our fellow man? We got people who will watch an entire live stream just to pick out where that person said something wrong so they can use it against them. What up, Juice? How you doing, man? Like, when did we start this, man? Is that masculinity? Is that masculinity 2025? Because we shout so loud that we make ourselves deaf to other opinions, other perspectives, other people's experiences. So wherever you are, man, salute to the chosen one. You're just sparking this thought, man, because I try to be even killed. I try to be balanced, man, but he almost triggered me, man. He almost did, but it's like, that there are going to be people that are going to do that, because somebody said in that live stream, he almost got me, bro. He almost got me, man. It's deep in there. It's like 2 hours and somewhere in there, man. But yeah, he almost got me, man. But that there are going to be people just test you for whatever reason that they have, and he said, he said, I don't like calm. I forgot exactly what he said, and I don't want to quote him wrong, but basically he said, I don't like mild-mannered people. He said it's disingenuous. Like, is that how we really think now? He said, yo, wait, where? Yeah, go back and watch it. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something, man. But yeah, he almost got me, man. He almost got me because, as calm as I am, as cool as I am, as much as I'm willing to listen to people, I'm human. We're all human. So yeah, we all have flaws. We all have faults, but at least try to listen to your fellow man. You're so quick to complain about what's wrong with the world. When do we ever look at ourselves in the mirror? Because no matter what you're doing, you still got to face that man in the mirror. I don't give a fuck how much you troll. How much you find fault in everybody else when everybody else is doing. You still got to go home at night and look at that man in the mirror, man, and face your own flaws. We all do, and that's the problem. Nobody wants to look in the mirror. Nobody wants to find the flaws in themselves. It's easy to find flaws in everybody else. It's easy to go around and point out everybody else's flaws. What about the flaws in you? Some of us hate what we see in the mirror so much that we're constantly trying to break the fucking mirror. Constantly trying to break the mirror. That's, to kill that image that's looking back at us. And not only that, some of us will go so far as to try to break somebody else's mirror if we catch a glimpse of our own reflection in it. Let that marinate for a second. And then go look around on YouTube and see who's in the chat causing trouble, always stirring shit up, Q says everybody is talking because some people are full of it. Nobody listening because some people are full of it. True. Sausage Party. He says, I go find it. Juice says, I totally agree, Blizz. We seek out reasons to argue. You on point. It seems people are waiting to pounce on any misspoke word or phrase. It's exhausting. Is why I'm a loner. I'm a loner too, man. Like, I know you guys see me up here talking. It seems like I'm like some outgoing person, but I'm not. I like this format. I could connect with people. I'm the type of person, I'm a loner until I like you. And if I like you and we get along or we share common interests, then it's like we're best friends. But I really don't go searching for it. I'm really not that outgoing, but it's a rough world out here, man. And it's getting worse, man. Social media, I don't know if it made it worse or it just exposed how it's always been. Maybe it's always been. Social media is just one big ass echo chamber from my point of view. Because nobody wants to hear anything that they don't agree with. We're so quick to shut everything out, man. You're not always right. I don't give a fuck if you 60 years old. I've been in America my whole life. 47. There's still shit I could learn about America. There's still shit I could learn about myself. I'm learning shit every day. We all should be striving to do that, man. But we're not, a lot of us aren't looking for that, man. We're looking for someone to validate our views, our egos. We don't want our way of thinking challenged, because there's a lot of weak men out there, weak people in general. But I tend to talk to men. Weak men fear competition, whether that's in physical activities or in thoughts. They fear what's different. They fear what they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Says Expat says, "Oh, Icy's in a building. Salute Icy." She said it's a sausage party. Not anymore. We got one taco in here at least. I agree 100%. Blizzard TJ's an early bird today. Salute Adam. Hi. I love that y'all be saying what up to each other, man. He says, you can never make me listen when you're talking at me and not to me. Is that correct? English? Yes, that's true. But sometimes you don't get to choose how that information is delivered. You don't get to choose a blessing if it's sat in it. It might come with a slap. It might come from you banging your head. That might be the lesson. It might come in a form that you don't like, or you don't want to accept. But a lesson is a lesson. A lot of us had lessons at the end of a belt or switch. So it's one aspect. I listen to people I don't like. I listen to people I totally disagree with. One thing I've been realizing lately, and like I said, maybe it's always been this way. One thing since I've been on YouTube, I've been realizing is that it doesn't matter how wrong you are. It doesn't matter how fucked up you are. There are always going to be some people that agree with you. That's off topic, but it's just amazing. It's amazing. Some of the shit that you can say, and there's going to be somebody like, yeah, you're right. Like, it's crazy, man. Expat living overseas says every person will have a different story based on their life experiences. Does that make them wrong because their life different from yours? Absolutely not, man. Absolutely not. I feel like social media made a lot of Ayo shut the fuck up worthy opinions acceptable in the mainstream. Yeah. It's because a lot of, I don't know, man. I think a lot of the true masculine men, they're not talking on YouTube, man. To be honest, man, they're not. They keep their head down. They work. Like I said, I never even watched YouTube until a few years ago. Social media in general is still not a big thing to a lot of men. It's getting there, but the guys that ran to pick up the mic and start talking were the most hurt men. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's just my belief. That's just what I'm seeing. He says, preach, Pastor Blizz. What up, nephew? Ray MC Gunner's in the building. He says, what's up to everybody? Men rock. Males not. It is a difference, man. We're all males, we're all born males. But you got to grow into a man. Icy says, people like to hear their voices only. When the time comes to listen, they can't do it. Sad, but it is what it is sometimes. So do you, boo? But exactly. TJ says, for example, growing up, there was always one or two dudes way older than high school age picking up their girl. Yeah. Instead of those weirdos being an anomaly in their town, now they can have a Discord. True. And we seen a lot of that shit. That shit I used to get mad. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be jealous, man. Like these old ass dudes, man, pulling up to the high school, picking up, the girls we're supposed to be dating. Nasty, bro. The reason I get benefit of the doubt until further notice. Yeah, he says, I have a hard time listening when people keep saying one thing and doing one thing. Yeah, totally different than what they say. True. Expat says, a true lion doesn't have to roar to let others know he is king. He will quietly get up and devour anything that puts his pride in danger. Hypocrisy in the highest level is just too cringe to sit and listen. I agree. A lot of these ultra-right Proud Boy losers were just regular incendiary malcontent losers in society. The internet let these losers seek each other out to build an omni loser. Yeah. But it's sad though, man. Like I said, salute to that brother, man. Hopefully he's all right, man. But any time, I'm not even gonna go there, bro. I was about to diss him, but nah, I'm not, bro. I'm not. But he did piss me off, bro. Cisco's in the building. He says, "What up, Blizzard? What up, Chad? Sorry I'm late. Trying to edit some videos. Yeah, man. I'm still working on this video, man. I'm still working on day one, man. I got it down from like 58 minutes. I'm at like 24 minutes now. So I'm trying to get down to like 12 minutes. Brett, what's up, Brett? How you doing, man? How you doing? Life is learning process. Until you take your last breath, never stop growing. I agree. Everybody saying hello. Yeah, here we go. Type mine. If you got a channel, type mine. M-I-N-E in the chat. Support yourself. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself out there so we all can support each other, man. Brett says, like and share the screen. Bro, you about to make me leave the live stream to watch the old stream. Editing video is a love-hate labor for sure. Yeah, it's tough, man. I love it. I'm enjoying it. But it's just, I got to learn how to shoot better, man. I got a lot of shit up there that's just dead space, man. You know. You'll hear about it later, bro. I'll let you up later, man. Definitely, man. Expat says, I'm just a simple man living a life that makes me happy. Yep, man, I had a crazy situation shaking my head. You said real men are not online. Does that make you fake? Maybe some people think I'm fake. Maybe some people don't. I just said the majority of them are not. You know, I talk to a lot of dudes every day, man. I work with a lot of men. They're not online like that. They're not online talking. You know, I'm too lazy to learn AI, so I do everything the hard way. You know. Or a salute, Ara. Yeah, if you want to come up in a few, man, we could talk about anything y'all want to talk about. Excuse me for a second. But yeah, I don't really worry about who thinks I'm fake, who thinks I'm not. I just speak, and I listen. You know what I mean? That's it. But like I said, what makes someone a real man? Leadership, you know, leading the way a man should lead, bro. Like, we know what's a good man and what's not. Let's not act like we kids, man. We know what's a good man and what's not, man. Bombastic. Hello, welcome to the channel. How are you? How you doing? If you got a channel, type mine, M-I-N-E in the chat. Type M-I-N-E in the chat. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say you're not a real man. I don't know you, man. You know, from what I see online, you look like a good brother, man. You look like you taking care of your family. But I don't know. You could be You could be a horrible person in real life. I don't know. But what I do know is I don't see you up here on your channel. I don't see you being disrespectful. I don't see you giving bad, horrible takes. From my opinion, there's some things that we know are wrong, and we can't sit up here and act like we don't, man. I think we all know a bad person when we see them. They hurt people. They disrespect people. They disrespect people's cultures. You know, they abandon their responsibilities, families at sometimes, you know. They teach hurtful things to other people, to young men. They push their fears, you know, their experiences onto other people. They push blame onto other people. They don't take accountability for their shortcomings, for the mistakes they make in life, you know. TJ says, icing on YouTube. Of course you don't use AI. What is it supposed to do? Make you taller? Nobody's believing that. Oh, man. You'd be amazed what people can come up with. Can you have leadership and be a loser in life? Leadership alone doesn't make you a man. All right, what about all the other things? But if you have a family, that's, you know, you can lead your family, but some don't even choose to do that. But like I said, you could pick out certain things I say, man, but and ignore the overall message. You're free to do that. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, like people will choose to do whatever they want to do, man. Because it's easy. It's easy. It's easy to do that, man. It's easy to sit back and pick at people, man. And to pick out words and to pick out phrases, you know. Instead of turning it around, if you got a better message, if you got a better stance, you know, I feel you listening. Now it's your turn to turn around and teach. You know, because that's what it's all about, man. It's all about teaching, bro. Like, I'm not the type of person to really throw stones at anybody, man. I don't know. This is one for the chat. Or I got a serious question for the chat. He's in the Philippines still. He says, on a serious note, how do you help a woman if they get taken by a taxi driver here? I don't know, man. If anybody wants to answer that, wish she's in the here. She's in the Philippines. Q's in the Philippines. All right. If anybody could help this brother out, he's got a question. How do you help a woman if they get taken by a taxi driver here? What does she got? Yeah, the police? Call the police. Call the police. Where are you? You still in Cebu? Call the police, man. Hopefully you remember the plate number or something. Salute. There's Cisco's channel. Support this brother. He's got good content, man. Expat says, let's talk about real problems with us finding real solutions. At least we can listen to someone unloading their burdens. Sometimes it helps not keeping things bottled up inside, man. And that's what I want to do on this channel, man. I want to open up the floor, let guys come up, talk about anything you want to talk about. You know, we could talk about politics and religion, but that's always like just a headbutting competition, to be honest. Just a headbutting competition, man. Like, I'm going to keep the floor open and let you guys talk about anything you want. But the headbutting competitions, man, it's kind of like it's getting dead because it's really not helping nobody. It's an argument. I like the way the guys that come up and talk about politics and stuff, the way they handle themselves. You know, they're not arguing, they're not putting each other down. But in the end, it's still just a headbutting competition. Bombastic says a man should be the head of the household and handle business and be the protector of his household. Traditionally, I believe that. That's what I believe. That's what I practice. But times is changing, man. Like we live in some weird times. Like you see that, like just on Wishy's channel. We was just on Wishy's channel, and they're like, "Oh, I want to be alone," and who says I need to be married and be with somebody? So, I mean, people think differently nowadays, man. I don't understand the question. Yeah, clean that up, Aura. It sounds like somebody got kidnapped by a taxi driver. You know, yeah, kidnapping is a crime. Call the goddamn authorities. If you see something, say something. Was she kidnapped? Bye for now. All right, Brett. Catch you later, bro. What was he talking about? Or did you witness a fucking kidnapping, mate? Grab us in your emergency text if your driver goes off course. Yeah, see you later, Brett. To ask if you're okay. All right. Was it a grab or is it did it grab or was it a taxi? Because I know even the taxis, they usually have to go back to the stand. So at least if you call the police and then if you go to the stand, you get the information from the other drivers if the drivers are there too. Wanting to take your man off fire. Equalizer, are you going through to ask this question, man? All right, hold on. She didn't know where he took her. She was running away and called me, but couldn't talk. He tried to rape her and gave her a black eye. So she got away. So yeah, call the police, man. Yeah, call the fucking police, man. Yeah, that's serious, man. Taxi, yeah, bro. Call the police, man. Yeah, hop off of here. Call the police right now, bro. Q says, being a man is all subjective. My definition is being a provider, protector, and leader, instilling values and morals for your kids. That'll put them in a position to win for life. I agree. I agree. I don't think it's subjective, though. I think we have a standard. Maybe some wiggle room in there, but I think there's a standard. Yeah. It's a lost generation, host. I wouldn't say it's totally lost. Oh, let me put y'all comments up here. I wouldn't say it's totally lost. Because I know some fine young men and women that are out here doing everything they need to do. They're doing things right. They don't get any publicity. They don't get talked about. They don't get recognized for doing good things in the community, doing good in school, doing everything they need to. We always talking about the bad ones, the lazy ones, the ones getting in trouble. They get all the attention. But I know for sure, absolutely sure, that there are good young people out here, you know, that are doing everything they need to be doing. And they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine, productive members of society, you know, but we're never going to talk about them, bro. We only talk about the negative, you know. He says she didn't have any information. Where did he pick her up at from? The police should be able to get CCTV footage. I told her to take a grab, but she decided to take Maxim. Yeah, Maxim. Yeah, somebody got to know something, man. Icy says, when I'm in the Philippines, my family will always take a picture of the driver and plate number all the time. Yeah. Juice says, somewhere along the way, we decided to value superficial, like keeping it real, whatever that means, over progress or working towards goals. It's all about perception of success with no substance. Yeah, a lot of it's fake, man. I call it fluff, but yeah, superficial. What really means, and this is subjective though, you know. What do you value in life? You know, we all don't value the same thing, man. Some people don't want a family. I've always wanted a family. You know, I've always wanted kids and a family. I still do. But some people don't. So I put when I had my kids and my family, that came first above everything else. Some people are still chasing the bag. Some people are chasing their careers. You know, I chose to pour into my family first. And I don't regret that. You know, should should that be the way for everybody? I don't think so. You know, everybody has to choose their own path. That's the path I took. Yeah, that's wild. It's just very rare. I hope so. Yeah. What time is it? What up, brother? It's good to see you in here, man. Always a pleasure having you in here, brother. Teacher said if you get kidnapped, then Blizzard is going to have to use a specific set of skills to get you back. Or we're gonna have to use them right now, man, to get his girl back, man. But nah, I hope she's all right, bro. I hope he didn't violate her, man, for real, because that's the worst, man. That's the worst, bro. On a serious note, man. There's no laughing about that, man. So I will call the police or figure out where the taxi stand is at, because regardless, he has to go back to that taxi stand. Yeah, I hope I can have something for you, but the police matter now. They call it blotter or something in the Philippines. Yeah, man. You just go to the trike station and ask them where the barangay office is. Yeah. I'm the old school traditional, man. Yeah, the traditional, I don't know what it means nowadays, man. I guess it could mean now, I guess it can mean, whatever the hell the internet wants it to mean. And it shouldn't be that way because there's a definition for it. You know, but things get so switched up because we're always talking about traditional women. We rarely talk about traditional men, you know. But back on the subject, man. Like I was saying about breaking the mirrors, man. Everybody wants to break the mirror because they don't want to deal with what they see in it. You know. The truth is, like, so we post, we argue, we comment, we go on live just to talk shit, and like he was saying, keeping it real, keeping it real, and being raw and unfiltered and uncut. A lot of times means being rude and brash. You know, sometimes disrespectful. You know, I get people. We have the freedom of speech in America. You know, we can say whatever we want to say. That doesn't mean that we should always say the things that we say. There's a way that you can curse somebody out without saying a curse word. There is a way to do that. You know, not saying you have to, but there are times that is what's necessary, man. So yeah, when people start generalizing people, putting whole cultures down just because they want to keep it real, I'm gonna push back on that shit, man. Like I said, tell me your experience. Don't tell me everybody else's, because you don't know everybody else's experience, overseas or in America. You know, some people are having a hard time right here in America, man. Some people are going through it, man. Does that mean that everybody is? No. Some people are living a life here in America. Some people have everything they want right here in America. And the same overseas, you know? So don't come here with that, oh, all this, all that. I don't want to hear that shit, man. Because you don't know all. You don't know all of anything, man. Where does it happen? And get the report to the nearest police station. Yeah, man. The stream needs a troll. I'm gonna open it up. MK, you could come up, bro. I'm gonna open it up, man. MK is a good boy today. Nah, he said he about to go back because this stream needs a troll to liven it up. Salute. Ara says, what's up? Yeah, I'm about to open this up, man. She didn't get any info. She was shaking and couldn't think. She lives by herself, so I don't know if she has any family to help. Was she with you and then left and this happened? Or was she away from you and it happened? I don't know. Disclaimer, not saying hi to some because I don't get hi back. I'm not being rude. Who did say hi to Icy, man? Sometimes the hardest path in life is making the right choices. Yeah, and I haven't always made the right choices. So I don't want to get up here and act like I'm up on some soapbox because I'm not. I'm not above anything. I mean, I'll just make that clear. Absolutely not. And I don't think I know everything either. That's why I like to listen. Yeah, nothing personal. He says, I value education and respect, so my kids will be your next politicians and doctors. Salute. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about, bro. She was hanging out with me, but she's in college, so she wanted to get to school and decided to leave at 3 a.m. She didn't listen to anything I told her. I was mad. Oh man. Well, I hope she's all right, man. Yeah, I hope she's all right, man. You should always know where your local barangay office is. Caught me off guard, man. He says, have you seen her again, Aura? Yeah. I cannot tell someone else how to live their life. Just be happy with no regrets. I agree, Q. See, I be agreeing with Q. With most of the shit he say. There's some stuff I don't agree with, but most of the stuff you say, I agree with. Because this is what I always say. I'm not traditional, man. I'm a modern man. Like, so I don't know what anybody's talking about with that traditional stuff. I'm a modern man, bro. You know, like, I'm modern as hell, bro. You want to be a traditional man, get your ass off this internet, man. Go get your ass out in the fields or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm trolling, but yeah. People today try to change a word to suit their agenda. Yeah, man. Constantly reinventing shit. You know? Whose reality no one wants to listen, just spitting reality when sometimes it only applies to them. Any thoughts? Yes. It's kind of like when I say that don't come here with that all people shit, all this and all that. Like, just talk about the shit you've seen in your life, man. Talk about your experiences, man. You know, I talk about my experiences. I don't talk about them over and over and over and over again, but I do bring it up. You know, I talk about the shit I've been through in my life. It shaped who I am today. Miss Wish says, or I hope she's safe now. Me too, man. Blizzard, why you can't accept super chat? Cisco wants to send $1,000, 1,000 pesos. Blizz needs super chat. I'm not monetized, man. Not monetized. I'm getting close, man. Getting close, man. I don't know. Hopefully, man, if things keep going the way they go, a couple weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks. You know. Salute, though. I appreciate y'all, man. Cisco. I mean, MK. The problem with many people is they think everything is black and white. They don't see shades of gray. I made fun of her height. That's my way of saying hi. It would be interesting to share your views of Blizz, MK, man to man. Would be interesting to watch. And yes, I do watch. What do you mean? One-on-one with MK? He sent me 3 stacks of high society, but I sent it back. TJ, you always say hi, you're good. I like you. Danica, hi, how you doing? I see on YouTube. I've not seen her physically, but we video chatted on the phone. She showed me the bruises and we spoke. man, I could drive 1.5 miles west of my house and it's a different life. Way better for those people who live in that community. But their level of happiness probably is not much more than our area. You talking about the Quakers? Even the Quakers ain't the Quakers no more, man. I remember a couple of years ago, I had to bring my daughter to a tournament out in PA. And the Quakers, man, they was chilling at the damn at the gas station drinking beers, man. Like, this is not what I thought the Quakers do, but I was like, they did have the horse and buggy though, but even the horse and buggy is like decked out now. So modern man means going 50-50. Nah, modern man is just like we live in a modern society, man. Like traditional, man. Your girl works, your girl's earning money. Shit, even back in the days that y'all want back, y'all want these traditional ways back. Those women worked. You know what I mean? Either they worked, they didn't just sit in the house and cook and clean. They worked. Go look that shit up, man. Even if it was like just out in the field, tilling their own fields, but they worked. You know. You can always donate through PayPal, guys. It's in the description link below. It's there, but I don't like asking. I'm gonna wait till I get monetized. You know, it's in there though, because that's not the first time somebody brought it up. I see, good point. I'm not talking about. I just want to know. Yeah, man. Salute, man. Like I said, man. Let her know, man. We our thoughts are with her, man. You know. Juice. Same observations throughout my domestic travels, man. Yeah. But I hope she's fine. To tell her people might know better what to do. Yeah, salute. Yeah, man. So why can't we listen, man? What is so wrong with listening to other people's points of views, man? Even if they go against what we believe, man. Why are we itching to fight so much? Itching. Some people be itching to have what they call a debate. Call it a debate. People love debating, man. I call it most of what we see now, I call it arguing. You know, they dress it up, they call it a debate, but really it's just arguing, man. Because you're not listening. You know, like, what are you learning? Anything you go into and the goal of it is not to like any back and forth you get into, and the goal of it is not to take something new away from it, and you just want to get your point across. It's arguing. It's just arguing. It's just likewise. I could drive 2 to 12 miles east, and many are lower economically, but I imagine their scale of happiness is equivalent percentage-wise as our area. Sometimes wealth doesn't always satisfy. Yeah, man. Yes. Simplest thing on life, hold the greatest treasures. Blizz isn't the one asking, but if you're asking, it's in the description link. Yeah. Salute. Salute. Nah, we good here, man. So how might we improve our lives? Like I said earlier, man, don't be scared to work on yourself, man. We see a lot of it, man. Don't be scared to confront yourself. Like I said, man, I don't have any beef. It's not a single beef I have right now, man, with anybody. It's not a single grudge I'm holding right now, man. These last couple years, it's been like the only time in my life where I haven't had that. The only man I need to confront right now is the man staring back at me in the mirror. That's the person I have the most to confront with. Because like it or not, we're not perfect. We all have areas of our life that we can improve on. I can't tell you what it is. You know what I mean? I can't tell you what it is, but I think deep down inside, you know what you need to work on, man. You don't listen because of the type of guys you brought on your panel. He claimed he knew everything about the Philippines. Filipinas in the Philippines. He must be constipated because he's full of shit. Yeah, I don't know if I'll bring him back up, to be honest, man. I ended up having to drop him down. Man. Like, I try to be open and have an open forum, an open platform to let people talk, but that was just too much. It was just too much, and it got to a point where I felt he was being disrespectful. Just being disrespectful to people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the same way I even pushed back on you, Q, when you were saying about the Dominican Republic, right? I pushed back against you too. So it wasn't specifically to that guy, you know, but that is the way I am. You know, I don't like looking down on nobody. I don't like judging nobody. It is what it is, but judge it from your own personal experience, man, and tell me your own personal experiences. Like, all right, when I went here, this is what I experienced. You know, don't tell me what everybody else has experienced. I seen this. I did that. You know, it's better that way, man. Then you're believable. You know, like shit. I was telling him to start a channel, and then by the end of it, I was like, nah, bro, don't start no channel, bro. For real, bro. So, a lot of information. Even if you don't ever know everything about everything, though. So that's the kind of crazy part, man. You know. But yeah, he was acting like he knew everything, but it's like, who knows everything, especially about a foreign country, man. Like I said earlier, I don't even know every law in America, you know. Shit, there's lawyers that don't know every law. They got to go to the law books and look shit up. So simply enjoy life while letting others do the same. This will make life easier for most people. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link, guys. Anybody wants to come up, man, y'all know how I do. The floor is open. Don't be shy, man. You don't have to cam up. Just let me see you real quick. If I don't know you, let me see you real quick in the back, and then I can, you know, I'll bring you up, man. DR is off the chain. I think it's fine to have a line when the stream becomes listen to me, not listening back. Yeah. Talking over people. Saying certain comments that I don't like, that I gotta be more quick to you know, to pull the plug, honestly. You know, DR is off the chain. DR was fun, man. DR was fun. MK's in the building.
Mike,
what's up, bro? How you doing, man? You up?
MK Mobile Gaming in the Philippines, coming at you guys from an undisclosed location in the Philippines, dodging the WW3 draft. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Yeah, we talk about the rabbit guy. Yeah, the rabbit guy.
Y'all thought that guy was nuts. Now y'all got me. Wait till they get a load of me.
Nah, you ain't like him, bro.
Yeah, that guy was weird.
Yeah.
I knew from the bat that guy was weird. I didn't even watch the whole thing. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
I try to be open, man. I try to, you know, listen to people, man. But some people, it's like the third time he's been up.
I'm surprised you gave him that much time. I'm like, you are a better man than me. Blizz is a better man than me.
It's like the third time he's been up there, and I think it's the second time I had to drop him. So yeah. Icy, I agree, man. Especially if it isn't your channel, have some decency. There's too much to ask. Just don't be disrespectful, man. I want a channel where men could come up here, men and women, but primarily men, because it's us who feel like we don't have a voice, right? It's us that's complaining. Oh, we don't have a voice. Nobody listened to us since the 70s and this and that. You know, well, then when we get the voice, when we get the opportunity to speak, you know, a lot of it's bullshit. Some of it's disrespectful. It's us talking over each other. Like, so I just want to listen. I want to give regular guys, you know, a chance to speak about whatever they want to speak about, you know. So you got the floor. If you want to speak about the topic, that's fine. If you want to bring something else up, that's fine. You want to
I'm
plug
gonna
your
miss
channel.
MK's rant.
You want to plug your
I'm
channel.
not gonna rant. I'm gonna try not to rant. Well, I was talking yesterday on my live stream about you know, I know you always say it's an echo chamber, and I agree with you. It is a little bit of an echo chamber, but I think that especially for like a young guy who just basically came into the manosphere, who maybe just got out of like some problems, some women problems, the echo chamber does help for a little while. Like it is a process that men have to go through. And I talk to a lot of guys, you know, that are in the red pill in the manosphere, and they all say, "Oh yeah, I went through red pill rage." They went through it, but they kind of matured out of it. So the echo chamber does serve a purpose for the younger guys or for the guys who are new to the manosphere. They do need it for a little while as a crutch to kind of, you know, get to the next stage, to mature to the next level of manosphere, red pill theology, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I agree. I think I said that a while ago. I made a video about it. It's called this. I forgot what I call this, like stages of the manosphere.
Because I mean, I came into the manosphere when I was like, well, about 2012 is when I found the manosphere, and I was mind blown. I did consume a lot of content because I was just so shocked that there was so many other men. It comes as a shock to a lot of guys too. And that's why they kind of overconsume the content. It's just, they're just so surprised and they're so relieved that there's men out there who feel the same way they do, you know, because they live in a world that tells them there's something wrong with them for believing the way they believe, for believing in traditionalism, in what do we call it? Traditional conservatism. Those men, the world tells them there's something wrong with them for believing that. So it's a relief to them when they do find the manosphere. And that's why they binge it when they first find it.
Yeah. Because it validates their feelings. It validates what they're going through in life. But the problem is that they get stuck there. A lot of men get stuck there. And that's the problem. They don't realize that it's a stage. Now, do you find the red pill guys saying that? Like, hey, this is a stage. You have to.
No, I mean, I don't think there's not enough. There's not enough guys saying that. I mean, I do say that on my channel that you do have to go through the stages and you do have to mature out of it. You have to go from consumer to creator. Like, I think that's the ultimate, you know, that's the graduation. That's the master's degree is like, okay, I've consumed content. Now, how can I help men by either creating content or not even creating content, just men in your everyday real life at work? You talk to them, you mentor them, you counsel them. That's the ultimate maturity level of red pill.
Yeah.
So you don't like, you know, you don't go crazy red pill, and you have to be able to navigate your life. Like, you can still, I have a relationship. I have a successful, healthy, happy relationship, but you always navigate your life through the lens of the red pill once you have the knowledge. Because once you see it, you really can't unsee it. So
I kind of agree with you. But you do evolve out of it. You evolve out of it. I see you, expat. I'm gonna bring you up right now, bro. Yeah, I think you evolve out of it, but there's nobody saying, like, you said you say it, but there's not really these big guys that, you know, 100,000 viewers, 100,000 subscribers. There's nobody there saying, all right, this is the next stage. You're gonna grow. This is the roadmap. You're gonna go through this rage, and then you're gonna go through, you know, the mirror stage where you're looking inward. You know, you don't hear that. I don't know if I never had red pill rage, but I did consume some of the content. I understand it. It just wasn't my story, you know. Totally wasn't my story. So I can understand what guys are going through. I can understand the frustration. I've been through a lot of the same shit that guys have been through: the divorce, the child support, the court battles. I've been through all that. I just had a different outlook on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But why? So you think a lot of the red pill guys do a lot of finger pointing, a lot of shaming too?
Like to each other or to
people that don't agree with them, to other men?
Yeah, I do it. I mean, I call guys simps. If you don't agree with me, I might call you a simp. So
I usually say Simple Simon instead of simp.
But there's usually I mean, if I'm just trolling, like I haven't had a whole conversation with somebody as to why I think they're a simp. But if they ask me why I think they're a simp, I'll probably explain it to them.
Because you called Cisco a simp last week.
Yeah, I did call Cisco a
simp. I don't think he's a simp. He's a cool brother.
I don't know.
He's a cool. I think you were trolling him.
He's 50%. I think he's 50% simp.
Nah, he ain't no simp. How do you be a simp if you're married?
That's
the part I don't get. That's the part
because
I don't get.
You can't. When you understand female nature, you literally can't even be married without being a simp. Because a woman will never marry a man she can't control.
That's not true.
That is true. It's biblical. I can prove it to you.
Your wife.
Because it's biblical doesn't mean that it's actually reality.
Your girlfriend would marry you. Your girlfriend would marry you right now if you asked her, bro. In a heartbeat.
Yeah, she would marry me, but I'm not going to marry her. That's another thing that makes you a simp, is that once you get married, you no longer have any authority in your relationship. The government has all the authority. So by default, you're a simp. Because you have to go to another man and get permission for things. You have to go to another man to get permission to marry that woman. That's simping. That's simping and pimping.
If you registered a relationship, I guess. I don't know, man.
And just think about the whole tradition of the proposal process. What does a man do? He gets on his knees. He begs a woman, "Will you please do me the honor?" That's simping.
Hey,
that's actually beyond simping. That's female idol worship. So the whole process of marriage is training a man to be a simp.
Have you been married? Were you married in the States?
Yes, I was married.
All I can say is I only been married once. Never been cheated on. Never had any problems in my relationship. We don't even argue. So if that's simping, then I simply enjoy being a simp.
Yeah, man. What's wrong? If she's a good woman, what's wrong with giving her the world if she wants it? What's wrong?
Oh yeah, I mean, I say the same thing about Rachel. I'll give Rachel anything, but yeah, they have to kind of earn it. They have to kind of prove their worth.
Yeah.
Prove to me that you're worthy of being simped to.
Well, I'll put it another way.
We don't know. Go ahead, Adam. Sorry, go ahead, man. I'll let you talk.
You have to prove to each other that you're both worthy of each other. You know, you can't just go, "Oh, she's got to prove that she's worthy." You got to be worthy of hers also. You know, it's a two-way street.
This is why I call Cisco a simp, just because he makes statements like this. Like, this is something like you have to understand. Simps have a female mentality too, so they make very female shaming tactic statements like this.
You know he gonna come up here, bro.
Let him come up here. A simp is someone who needs a subordinate.
Respectful.
I'm being respectful. A simp is someone who needs a subordinate to feel like a man, just soft. Okay, so this is a shaming tactic. It's a female shaming tactic. So basically, and also simps think that men and women are created equal.
What is red pill? We got a RS is pretty new. I think this is the second time coming to the stream.
Reformed simp.
Salute him. He said, "What is red pill?" Red pill is a good start because it helps you understand the women games they try. Once you learn, you can now adapt and understand why they do what they do.
Yeah, you can live your life.
That helps me grow. Girl, concepts that are foreign to my
No,
world.
Lord.
He says MK is right. Blizz is right too. There needs to be a balance, but the world is so anti-traditional that red pill has to project extreme just to get the point across.
Exactly. Yeah, that is a very good way of putting it. You do have to. You're not going to combat extremists without being extreme. You're just not.
That's the shit I like. Yo, say what up to Beat Your Life for me, man. Beat Your Life is, I think he's chilling with TJ in Vietnam right now. Yeah, man.
And people call like just for standing firm in your beliefs, people call that extremism. That's not extremism. That just means I know what I believe and I'm not going to budge on it.
What you think about this statement from Q in the Philippines? Just the ultimate red pill is realizing that God isn't real and that the only person that's going to save you is you.
Well, good luck with that.
So I know it's an Alice in
most of my red pill theology actually comes directly from the Bible, so I can't really agree with that statement at all.
Yeah,
I've actually been. I didn't go through red pill rage either because I was actually mostly red pill before I even found the red pill, and I attribute that to basically my religious beliefs and God kind of downloading red pill information into me at a very young age.
Yeah, nah, we're not gonna talk about Cisco. He could come up if he want. He know that. I don't think Cisco's a simp at all. I think he's in what looks like a healthy relationship, and he's in America in a healthy relationship. So we gotta salute that because shit, there's a lot of people that ain't finding it here.
Well, he's also under the American government.
Sounds like, yeah, but a lot of us. We're not worried about the government in that aspect as far as like marriage and the woman leaving us and all that shit. It's just like,
well, I always say I'll say one more thing and I'll leave it at that. I would say just because she doesn't do it doesn't mean she can't do it. So a lot of these married guys will be like, oh, my wife is great and she's amazing and she's the best woman and all this stuff, and I'm saying, but she still has the ability through the entire backing of the United States government to do it whenever, if ever, she decides. And that is what the Bible refers to as the usurping of authority. You have no real authority. You only have the authority she allows you to have.
I get what you're saying. They have a lot of power through the courts.
Just because she doesn't enforce it doesn't mean she can't. It's always there. It's always accessible to her.
But that's how it should be, though. I believe that's how it should be. Because the only alternative to that is keeping a woman against her will.
Well, I'm not keeping Rachel against her will.
No, but she could leave you if she wanted to.
Yeah,
she's
more than welcome. She's more than welcome to leave
stopping her.
I'm saying relationships work just fine without the government,
without the marriage. Yeah. I agree. I'm not an advocate for marriage. I think, but I'm not against it either. I think if that's the road you want to walk down, you know, you can warn against it, but I think people are going to do whatever the hell they want to do, man.
All right, let me address this comment. This comment's going to get spicy. You want to put it up on there? What time is it? Travels.
Hold on.
New comment.
This one?
Yeah. God created marriage, bro. What are you talking about? You're not making sense. All right. Are you a Christian? This is probably a Christian who believes the lies of Christianity. God did create marriage, but God did not create marriage licenses. So if you can show that to me in the Bible, I would like to see that. When you sign a marriage license, you actually contract with the government and you sign God out of your marriage. That's why the divorce rate is so high, even amongst Christians.
Yeah, Icy says, in my honest opinion,
God doesn't care about your government paperwork.
Believe into another person just because they believe in something else. Yeah, because I'm not a religious person. So, but that doesn't mean I'm going to put your religion down just because I don't believe in it. So, to each his own. You know, I know you're a religious person, so I respect your beliefs, man. You know, it doesn't mean I have to believe in them. It just is what it is.
If
Just
you're
like
happy,
I wouldn't force my beliefs on you.
Oh yeah,
if
no,
you're
I don't do that. I
happy,
don't do that either.
I know.
if you're happy in life, what does it matter what other people think? If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
You know,
Let me read
just
some of these
maintain it.
No, I
Yeah.
always say that on my channel too. I'm like, I'm not trying to save people who don't want to be saved. Like Christians
That's
are always
it.
going to like pride parades. I'm like, what are you doing? They don't want you there.
They know where you're at. They know where the church is at. Fuck, it's
Yeah.
a million of them. You know, when they're
Yeah.
ready, they'll come in. You know,
Every Sunday
gotta force it on
you
nobody.
have them Sunday Christians.
You
They
know?
are Christians for about 2 hours a week and hypocrites the rest of the time.
Yeah, salute. Let me read some of these comments. Icy says, "What happened to the old tradition of being nice to women? I mean, if a woman is such a crazy bee, well, that's a different thing." Yeah, I agree, man. Because you got some of these guys, man. Let's be real. Some of these guys nowadays, they will not hold the door for a woman. They won't open the door for a woman. Like they won't say hi to a woman, smile at a woman. It's crazy, man. Like I seen some guy on there. He's like, I'm not holding the door for no more bitches because I try to open the door for this woman and she walked through and didn't even say thank you. I'm like, so what? Man? It's
why
the
does
act
the
that
man
matters. Who gives a fuck if she said thank you or not, man? It's your act that matters. You know?
if you expecting somebody to say thank you every time you open the door, then it's best not open the door. He's doing that for recognition and compliments from a woman and stuff like that. He's not doing it he's doing it with having expectations, you know. He's not doing it without having expectations.
Exactly. You do it just because that's who you are. That's the type of person.
Exactly.
Like I hold the door for anybody. I don't give a fuck, man. If I see a dude coming behind me, I'll fucking hold the door for him. I don't give a fuck, man. I hold the door for ladies. Like, it's not that big of a deal, man. It's just being a nice person. You know. Q says, why are you in the Philippines if you're a red pill?
Well, because just like Blizz says, I mean, men still have a desire to have relationships with women, and even some men want to have kids, but you can't do that in America.
But there are plenty of people. There's a lot of people just happy in America, man. A lot of people just happy living their lives. They're not worried about none of this shit that we're talking about on YouTube. You know, they don't even know that the Manosphere exists. Like, there's still people that don't. You see in the chat, one guy's like, "What's red pill?"
Well,
like, there's a lot of people that don't know.
Like I said, once you've seen the red pill, you can't unsee it. So for me personally, I can't live in America knowing that I'm under the oppressive government laws and then try to have like a marriage and a family, knowing that my kids don't belong to me. They're going to teach my kids about gay sex in school. It's just, I can't do it. Yeah, so if every man, like you said, every man has to look in the mirror and make that decision for themselves. I've made my decision. I just can't do it. I don't think it's a healthy
personal choice
place to have a family.
I do.
You can try.
I think
also,
man,
even if you want to do it in America, it's just why it's so much harder to do. It's easier in the Philippines, right?
For you.
For me, okay. For me, it's easier. I don't know. I just think, why would you work so much harder in America just to make it work in America?
Man, there's some people living a dream here, man. I see them. I don't hang around a lot of them, but I definitely see them. They're living a fucking dream. They wouldn't leave America. Like, they wouldn't trade places with you. You know what I mean?
It goes back to my other statement.
It goes both ways, though.
I can't live knowing that if I were to have a family and a wife in America, that the government would always be there for her to use against me. That's the main thing. Like, I have to get out from under that.
Yeah, but you don't want to get married, so why are you worried about marriage?
If I did decide to get married in the Philippines, the government here is not like the family court here is not like the family court in America.
It might.
So
be
I would be a little bit more protected.
It might be for your ass though.
But the number one problem in the Philippines is there's currently no divorce.
It might be for you. You know, it might be for you. I don't know. I can't say for sure. I'm not gonna act like I know everything. I just know it might be for you.
I think it goes
child support. There is child support in the Philippines, right? It does exist.
No, there's not. No,
I think it is.
They tried it, but I don't think it went through. They were talking about it, but they can't even get the divorce thing to go through yet. They'd have to.
I mean, child support has been around since the fucking Roman days, man. Like
they'd have to approve the divorce, but like what's his name said the other day on your live stream, they make $10 a day. How are they going to pay child support?
No, but I'm talking about you. You don't make $10 a day. That's what I'm saying. It might be different for you. I don't know. I can't say for sure. The enforcement.
The hoops that a Filipino would have to jump through just to make that, because the government, actually the family court here, they favor the fathers. So they just really wouldn't do it. Like she would have to
beat your life. Salute, brother.
She'd have to pay off some judges or something to make that happen.
Oh, okay. Salute. What time says it's not in the Bible, bro, but listen, the scripture says men love your wife as Christ loved the church.
The scripture always says, wives, submit unto your husbands as unto the Lord. Does your wife submit unto you as unto God? See, they don't like that part. That's the second part they like to leave out from that scripture.
Well,
I don't know scripture. I don't know scripture at all. But
Jesus
at least go ahead, Adam.
Jesus never wrote the Bible. He never created religion. That was all done by man through what they seen through Jesus and the other things. So who's to say everything that's written in the Bible is the exact word of God or Jesus himself? So that's why you have to. That's why you have to really study your Bible.
I like that we can have this conversation. It kind of turns back to what I was talking about. We can have these conversations. It's doable without tearing each other down, without arguing, pointing fingers. Me and MK don't agree on everything, but I'm not disrespecting him. He's not disrespecting me. Me and Adam have a lot of the same viewpoints most of the time, but we don't agree on every single thing. We don't have to attack each other, man.
No.
Like I'm pretty sure I could go to MK's channel and find something that he's saying that I don't like and attack him. But why?
Yeah.
What am I gonna earn from that? You know,
we can all do that.
Get a trophy from that? Like I'm not gonna get nothing. So I support the things he says that I agree with, and most of it, if he says something that I don't agree with, I just fucking let it go. It's easy, you know.
Well, don't get me wrong. In general, I do agree with MK. What he's saying, you know, I do agree with him. You know, do I agree with everything he says? No. Does he agree with everything I say? No. But that's what makes us different from other people. We can still kind of get along. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah. And no disrespect, your view is flawed, bro. I used to think like you.
What happened? What changed your mind? You were on the right track.
You got old, man. You got older. People evolve.
Man.
People's thinkings evolve. People's ideas evolve.
And women got to him.
He says, "Why can't you do it in America?"
I just answered that. I'm not gonna live under the American government knowing that my wife could always use the government against me whenever she feels like it.
I think the main thing about America, the problem with marriage is the government sticking its nose in everything they shouldn't be sticking its nose into. They've got their business in everything that's about marriage, you know. Marriage used to be more word, you know, between two people. Now you've got the government, they want to control every single thing. They even have no fault divorce now. A person can divorce you for any reason that they see fit and don't have to have a reason. They say that they don't want to be married anymore.
And they should be able to leave, though. Why can't they leave, man? What are you?
But what?
The problem is, it seems like that. And I'm
well, okay. Let's say this.
It seems like they're leaving for no good reason. The problem is, your ass probably should have left, and that's the problem. We men do not leave relationships. We will stay. We will be unhappy. We will sacrifice for our families unhappily. Women aren't built like that. They are different than us, man. Will they do it? Yes. But if they have the opportunity to leave a bad situation, then they should be allowed to. It seems like we're complaining that they're allowed to leave a situation
for the sake of argument,
unhappy in.
For the sake of argument, I don't have a problem with women leaving. The problem is women leaving and then taking your house and your car and all your money and your kids. That's the problem.
Get a prenup. They exist. I know they can break them now, but get a good ass lawyer and get a prenup.
All the woman has to say was he forced me to sign the prenup, and the judge throws it out.
Mainly what I was getting at with no fault divorce is a lot of people getting married nowadays that they shouldn't even have never got married to begin with.
True.
And they
like me when I got married in my 20s, shouldn't have got married.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have.
And it goes back to the comment I made in Miss Wishy's live. A lot. It's funny how the wrong person can seem so right at the beginning. Yeah.
Kamal says, I was in Rhode Island DMV and a young lady sitting next to me dropped something. As quickly as I leaned to pick it up, she vehemently said, I don't have to. These modern women reject gentlemen and offset the social atmosphere. But that's fine, though. Will that change you? Are you going to let that change you from still being the gentleman that you were raised to be?
Unfortunately, it kind of does change these guys. Unfortunately, it does change men. The next woman that comes along that actually needs help and might actually be okay with accepting help from a man, he's not going to help her. So women are actually hurting themselves by this behavior because she might have a flat tire on the road. She might have a flat tire and then, no man's going to come help her.
That woman. But then again, the next guy that tries to help her is not going to know. But it wouldn't change the way that I am and the way I was raised and the type of person I am. I'm that person. Like, if you're going to let one bad situation change you for the rest of your life, something like that, I don't know, man. It just seems so insignificant. Like, I would still be willing to help the next lady that dropped something, the next person that situation happened to. But I think a lot of people are grabbing onto the negative experiences that they hear from other people.
Well, I will say this to try and kind of agree more with you, Blizz, is that I look at women now, and this is what I tell men too, don't look at women as women. You have to think of them as like you're watching a National Geographic show. You don't, when you see a lion like attacking other animals to eat, you don't get mad at the lion. You're just like, that's just what they do. That's the nature. So when you start to view women from that context, it gets a little bit easier to swallow their nature, their human nature. Just be like, that's just what they do, right? That's just nature. So then you're not mad at them for it anymore. You're just like, man, they're just behaving the way they behave. But you know the nature.
But
so to like, don't touch the fire, you might get burned. Don't get too close to the lion, it might try to eat you.
I don't know. I guess for me, I'm lucky that I have good experiences. I have some bad experiences, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm out every day. Like, I go to pick up my grandson from the daycare every day. Not but women there. Like, they're all nice. They all say hi. They all smile. They all, like, I don't feel like I'm walking into the lion's den. They're all nice people, man. Like, I don't get it, man.
I treat nice women nice.
Yeah. But where's this whole... You would think 95% of women in America are just horrible people. If you listen to some guys, like, you would think that it's just, we're out here, men are just out here getting their throats cut.
Unfortunately, I know you don't want to like generalize, but the problem is so big that it's kind of hard not to generalize.
I don't think the problem.
So it's the majority or even the minority. Let's say the minority of bad women that are just messing it all up for the rest of them.
Yeah,
because
because
that minority.
People are projecting their bad experiences onto other people.
I don't think they're projecting. I think men are just telling their stories. That's not projecting. That's just, this is a story that happened to me. This is something bad that happened to me. So be careful so it doesn't happen to you.
Some are saying that.
Unfortunately, there's so many of those stories online that, yeah, men are terrified of women or dealing with them in any way.
And they shouldn't be.
And actually, it's not even that. Actually, when you think about it globally, it's not as bad in America as it is in some other countries. Japan is way worse. There's other countries that are way worse when it comes to the men and women fighting with each other.
South Korea.
America's not at South Korea. Yeah, exactly.
I've never been to either one of those places. But like I said, I just think it's what I call it, trauma bonding amongst men. There's some of that going on.
Trauma bonding.
For real.
Well, you can look at the statistics all over the world, like in China, Australia, UK, Paris, America, Canada, and look at the divorce rates. Look at all the problems that are happening: inflation, politics.
Because I've been called a simp early when I started making videos, because the way I talked about women and the way I talked about the manosphere. So I've been called some names. I've been like,
I'll be right back.
I've gotten some interesting emails. Like, I've been attacked, you know. When I made the video about the incels, I actually got a death threat. Oh shit, Cisco's in the back. I didn't even see him. My bad, bro. I hope you haven't been here that long. I actually got a death threat because I made a video talking about incels. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? That's what I'm talking about. I've had guys watch my videos, 12-minute video, and pick out one line and send me a horrible email. You know, like from one line out of 12 minutes of talking. You know, but like I said, I like that we're able to have this conversation. Even the guys talking about religion, that, you know, we're not attacking each other. We're not tearing each other down. But my bad, Cisco, man. I didn't see. How long were you waiting there, man? I'm sorry, man.
Bro, I was there like 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, so when MK comes up, remind me to ask this question to him, Icy. Let me see if I still know how to use that Bible. Child support does exist in the Philippines.
It does.
Yeah, I know it does. But I guess what I was trying to say was that even though it's not heavily enforced against Filipino men, I don't know how it works for foreigners. You know what I mean? How they would enforce it against foreigners. I don't know. So
they enforce it, but it's a very slow process. It might be years. It might be years foreigners? Before anything's done. Yeah, they do. If you're married and you have kids with that woman, they can collect child support from you. But like I said, it takes years for it to go through.
He said, "Yes, bro. You on this other shit?"
What's up, Cisco? You want a box?
Go on, bro.
I'd love to.
I'm ready.
Who wants the box?
Cisco.
Who seriously wants the box?
Cisco wants these hands.
Okay, I say either knuckle up or shut up.
His
if
wife
there isn't any divorce in the PI, if there isn't any divorce in the PI, isn't it more restrictive there than in the US?
If there isn't any,
I guess you could say, you know, America, they're allowed to leave for no reason. In the Philippines, it's the government that's stopping you from leaving.
There's no divorce in the Philippines, but they do have what's called an annulment, and you can get that, but it's a slow, expensive process, and it's not guaranteed that they will agree to you having an annulment, which is basically ending the marriage.
Yeah, it's so difficult.
Very difficult.
It's virtually impossible how difficult it is. You have to be like a rich foreigner. The only people who really get the annulments are the ones who are like the women who are trying to marry a foreigner, and he has a lot of money to pay everyone off to get it to go through.
For it.
The only
like
time
5 years or some shit.
Yeah.
The only time a foreigner can divorce a Filipino is if they got married in his country and not in the Philippines. something to do with the
Oh yeah, that's another.
share, something to do with the share law, if I'm saying it correctly, if you're Muslim and like that. But
Sharia
other
law.
than that, there's no divorce in the Philippines.
Yeah,
I said this
have an
before.
annulment.
I said this one time. I said this before. The red pill is dead.
The
I
red pill.
did a whole live. I did a whole
the-
live stream about that.
The term red pill might be, but I don't think the ideology is going away.
It's dying
look,
down. You think it's dying
I made her
down?
bring me a cake. Am I being mean, Cisco?
Yeah, you didn't make her do anything. It's
Well, she
kind of like,
did.
you know, people think
I
that
just told her.
they train
I told her
their
to bring me a cake, and she brought me some cake.
Yeah, well, some people think they train their pets, but their pets are actually training them. So
They're so
it's
good.
probably this kind of along the same lines for you, I imagine.
If you truly love each other, you shouldn't have to demand anything. They do things without even asking.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
That's
you're right.
That's how it is in my
You
relationship.
got me. I shouldn't have asked. She should have been able to read my mind. I need to train her better. She could start reading my mind.
Well, perfect example. Yesterday, my wife wanted sex. I didn't have to ask her for it. She gave it to me yesterday.
Damn. What about that, Cisco?
What about what?
What about what?
His
I'm
wife
sure
wanted some sex. Is he being mean?
Cisco ain't feeling y'all, bro.
I mean,
Cisco ain't feeling y'all,
Blizz, you know, like this is such an easy target. It's
he
like,
has no
you know, it's like beating up a child. You know, I don't even want to waste my time.
So, MK,
What it is, man.
MK, your woman never asked you for having sex or never
She asked me
initiated it?
every day. It's a hard life in the Philippines. I gotta have sex every day. I gotta eat this cake.
I mean, we
Cisco
all
don't know nothing
old.
about
I'm pretty sure we all. It's sad.
I see the crap squirting out your ears, MK.
What deal, man?
See the crap squirting out your ears.
You live in
the crap's getting deep.
You know you have sex every day.
Facts is divorce
No,
rate in
I
America
don't have
is less
sex every
than
day.
many countries, including UK, Russia, and several other countries. My guess that part of the reason is that some people just separate to avoid the expense.
What's up, Q?
Yeah. Before, I was gonna read his comment. He was up here. He said, I guess I should reframe this question. Why are you running from a country that was built for you to win? I understand us brothers leaving, but what's your excuse? Some would say you're weak.
I'm actually surprised that there's not more black men leaving, considering how badly the America has treated black men. And white men leave because we actually become a little bit more nihilistic than I think black men do. I think, especially, you know, talking to Blizz still has hope for America. I think white men just kind of gave up on America.
White men are in control of America. White men hold the majority of positions of power in America still.
Yeah, America's great for the few elite wealthy, but I mean, the average guys, it's not that great.
Yeah, it's always been that way. That it ain't like that's something new. It's always been that way, you know. And I think anybody who's quote unquote leaving America because it's it's destroyed or it's this that. I mean, you're silly. I mean, America's gone through way worse times than what's going on right now. I mean, it's a crappy time. Don't get me wrong, but there's been way worse times in this country up until now.
Well, I'm not speaking.
Country's not going anywhere. I mean, it's just going through some rough crap. But in terms of saying black men, you're surprised why they're not leaving. Probably because our ancestors built this country. I wouldn't just walk away from it because, it's falling apart. If I leave the United States, it's just simply because I feel like, my money will go further somewhere else, or there's things I want to see in other places. It's not because it's falling apart. It's such a silly thought process to think that that's the case. You don't understand history if you think that's the case.
Well, you're right. I'm actually spending more time thinking about the future than I am about the past. And because I read the Bible, I know what future prophecies are coming. And I know that America, especially American men, the simps and the beta males, are going to have a hard time adjusting to the new, the new world order, which I'm actually looking forward to seeing.
I would just assume, let's set aside
So
the Bible and
bad times
anything that we're
haven't
talking
actually
about, because
bad times haven't
that's like a
actually come.
non-starter. But
Bad times haven't actually come to America, but they are coming.
yeah, bad times have been in America since day one. So I'm not really sure what history book you've read, but it's been pretty rough for a lot of people for a long time. Um, I mean, that's nothing new. Like I said, I just don't get it. It's like the same people that say, "Oh, this generation of kids, they're soft. This generation of kids, they have no respect." They said the same thing about your generation. Every generation thinks that it's the end of the world. Every generation thinks the next generation's
Well, I'm
soft.
not saying it's the end of the world. I'm saying it's the end of life as you know it. Your comfortable monogamous life, that's gone.
Yeah, that's
especially with population decline.
That's silly talk.
It's talk you.
See, that's where we start disagreeing.
It may sound crazy right now. It's the same thing they said about gay marriage. They said they would never legalize gay marriage. Everyone was like, "That's crazy. That would never happen." Boom, it happened. They said they would never overthrow Roe versus Wade. That's crazy. They'll never do that. Boom, it happened.
Yeah, that's apples and oranges. So, I mean, at the end of the day,
that's a reality you clearly don't want to face.
Well, it's not a reality because it's not happening. If it was happening, then it would be a reality.
I just said gay marriage happened when they said it wouldn't happen.
No, you started off on talking about that, life as I know it is going to be changing. Well, that's every day of my life since I've been born. I don't understand what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, like I said, this is life. This is what happens in life. Things change, and I think for the people who don't understand that change is inevitable, and for the people that don't understand that, you have to get used to change. If you don't like change, you turn into a red pill guy. If you want things to stay the same, if you like comfort, if you like, things that are the little bubble that you live in, you turn into a red pill guy. And
You're
I understand why people do.
No, that's why you stay in America, because America is very comfortable for you.
I can literally live in any country I want to.
It's easier for you to stay in America.
I mainly moved to.
Some of us have responsibilities that we can't leave. Some of us have responsibilities, man. We have
that's
things that we have to take care of that we cannot leave right now.
I'm gonna push back on you a little bit on that one too, because I'm starting to see a lot of families here, like whole American Western families leaving America. Yep. So I know that a lot of men have their kids that they have to think about, but I'm starting to see some men are bringing their kids and their wives here too.
No, so you can't bring the ex-wife and your kids. You know what I mean? Some people are in that situation. Some people like me, like my grandkids. I can't up and I plan to leave America, and that's the thing. I am going to leave America eventually. I call myself a future expat. I'm gonna leave America. Doesn't just because I say that America's not burning, America's not a wasteland, America this, I still love
after Blizz is finished, I'm going to talk.
I love my people here. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't see the same thing that you see, your vision of America, doesn't mean I don't want to leave or I'm stuck here or this or that. I just
that just reminds me. That reminds me of a good point. Talking about.
Okay, I said I was going to talk because I've been quiet, and every time I try to say something, somebody speaks. I want to go back to the reason that I moved to Thailand. The main reason I moved to Thailand was for the lower medical costs. My medical bills with my blood clot disorder was eating me alive. So that's why I moved to Thailand. And everything else that happened in Thailand, I consider a blessing. Does what Cisco, how he lives his life in America and what he believes in, is he wrong? No, if that's what makes him happy and he's living it with no regrets, the same with everybody else on this panel, Live the life that makes you happy.
Yeah.
And yes, things do change.
Let me read this comment. Yeah. Let me read this comment because this kind of gets to what I say all the time. Or Drip TV, man, salute, brother. He says the problem isn't leaving, it's taking your assets that they didn't earn. Dwight Howard was only married for 6 months, and now Amy wants 70 million, which is half his net worth. Shaking my head. All right. Dwight Howard, if she takes that, she deserves it because he knew what he was getting into when he married that woman.
Well,
Did he
the only
not? Did we all do we not know the laws? Do we not take the time to understand this? If I have a baby and with a woman and it doesn't work out, I might have to pay child support. If I get married without a lock tight prenup, I might lose some of my shit. So where's Dwight Howard's accountability? Or are we gonna blame all women because she is gonna trying to take 70 million from Dwight Howard's stupid ass who should have had a prenup? We're gonna blame all women because Dwight Howard decided not to get a prenup. So because Dwight Howard's gonna lose 70 million, Ray down the street with his who's worth 40,000 shouldn't get married and start a family and grow a family here in America.
Yeah, and the Dwight Howards are
Because that's who's listening. That's who's listening. Ray down the street is listening, not Dwight Howard.
So they're not blaming. The Manosphere is not blaming women. The Manosphere is blaming the government.
Blaming women. They're blaming women. You talk about the government, and I see that about you. You talk about the government. A majority of men talk about women. Like I see your videos. You talk about the government and the laws and all that shit. You talk about some about women. But the majority of the Manosphere and the Red Pill are just talking about women.
Because they don't want to look in the mirror. The bottom line is they don't want to look in the mirror. You know, it's easy to point the finger somewhere else, you know, and it's easy to put people in a little caricature of what we think they are or what we want them to be because it's easy. It suits our narrative. You know, life is more complicated now. That's like I said earlier, you know, people have trouble seeing other than black and white. You know, life is very complicated. And a lot of people, the way that their brains work, it's a biological thing. You know, I'm not trying to knock them or anything, but it's a biological thing. Some people are just hardwired to be black and white thinkers for the most part, and they have trouble, you know, seeing the shades. And some people are just hardwired to be more conservative, more fearful in their views. It's just the way that it is. And some people are the opposite of that. And so, you know, when you look at some of these guys, and I look at MK, and I don't know him very well. You know, I honestly think he's there's probably a lot more to him than what he's putting up here on the screen, and as with all of us probably. But I would imagine that if you were to look at his brain, you would see that he's kind of hardwired a certain way to see things a certain way. It doesn't mean he can't change his mind. It doesn't mean that he can't learn to be other ways. It just means he's predisposed to have a lot of these thoughts that he has biologically and probably the way he was raised. But if we're going to live in a world where we respect reality, we have to look past what our own little fears and biases are and see the world as it really is. And it's not that women are the problem. Women didn't make all these laws. And if you say, oh, well, it was the simps made the law. Well, if they're such simps, why are they in charge? I don't understand it. So all of this stuff is so it's just silly to me. It's like it's hilarious that people who here's the other thing, red pill. It's just another way of saying woke. That was the whole meaning of the red pill in the first place, that you were woke, you were awakened to the truth. And a lot of these red pill guys hate woke shit, which cracks me up. But that's basically what it boils down to. And red pill, what it basically means is not woke. What it means is trying to find the world out there the way that you want it, and it just doesn't exist. So they try to make it, and the way that they're making it is by having women be beneath them, simps be beneath them. None of this is realistic, by the way, but in their world, that's what it is. So they continue to, you know, propagate this stuff. So, you know, like I said, it to me, it's a waste of time to even argue about this, because it goes beyond just ideological stuff. It's biology for some people.
I agree. And usually what I say is you can't blame other people for what you allow in your life. If you allowed it in your life and it didn't work out, you made a mistake, or somebody does you wrong, you're the one that allowed that to happen into your life. You know, you have to take responsibility for your part.
Exactly.
So this is more proof that Cisco. This is more proof that Cisco has a female mentality because he basically just used a lot of words to say nothing.
I mean,
you don't understand the words, so you're going to take them as disrespect. I get it.
I'm using. Oh, see, now I'm trying to use shaming tactics on Cisco, and then he gets mad.
He just called me a simp, but now he's saying that I'm using a shaming tactic. Man, come on, man. Look at what you're
called him a simp. So we gotta be mindful.
Simps and women use shaming tactics because they both think like women.
Is that what you're doing right now?
Yes, I'm using shaming tactics on you.
So you have a female mentality.
No, we're all the same, bro.
Well, I'm aware. I'm aware that I'm using shaming tactics. You're doing it unconsciously.
Okay,
I'm doing it in a funny, sarcastic manner,
not unconsciously. Okay, so use the right words. But hear me out. I don't take having a female mentality as disrespect. So if you tell me I have a female mentality,
of course you don't, because you're a woman.
Okay, I mean I don't take that as disrespect either. You can call me whatever.
Come on.
You can call me whatever you want.
We're not gonna attack each other, bro.
And all the shaming tactics.
We're not gonna attack each other, man.
My point was, my point is, what did you even just say?
Well, the most first thing I'm gonna stand up for is it's Cisco's life. He has the right to have his own beliefs, what he likes, and all that. And attacking each other, calling each other simps and all that. You know, I can get on here and attack you, MK. You can do the same to me. But what's that resolve? That doesn't resolve anything. We should be talking about solutions to the problems.
It's a waste of time.
That's my mind.
Exactly. If there's no solution, then it's a waste of time, like Cisco said.
I guarantee, and this is what I always say.
Cisco? What is the
solution? If you two sat down, of course you're not going to do it here. You probably could find something you agree with, man.
Sometimes
for me, it's easier to find that thing that we agree with than to sit here and argue.
Okay, let's talk about solutions. What are the solutions?
Well, sometimes the end solution is learning to agree to disagree. You know, sometimes there isn't a solution
with the manosphere and the dynamics between men and women. How do we bring men and women back together?
Accountability, man. Accountability is missing. We say that it's all one-sided, that women aren't accountable. What I see is that men don't want to be accountable for shit either. You know what I mean? We have been, for the last 4 years that I have seen, men have been trying to dodge accountability any way possible. Not all men, some men. They're blaming all their problems on the government. They're blaming all their problems on women, the system, you know, modern women. But do we not put ourselves in these situations? Right? Dwight Howard, perfect example. I can't feel sorry for that brother. You don't think he knew better? He chose to go into that without boundaries and standards, without a fucking prenup. Have you not seen what's going on? I'm not sitting up here rah for marriage. I don't support marriage like that. To each his own, you know, but definitely not in the fashion he just did it. I just heard of this. I don't even know what it is. I just know that Dwight Howard's trying to get a woman's trying to get 70 million out of it. So is that supposed to make me not want to get married? Because Dwight Howard, dumbass, is going to lose 70 million? No, one, I don't have 70 million. You know what I mean? Two, whatever I do have, there is a prenup. Yes, poor men could get prenups too.
I also say don't sign a birth certificate without a fraternity test, if I'm saying it correctly.
Dwight Howard.
A DNA test.
Paternity test.
I didn't know he was married. I think I heard Dwight Howard was doing some other stuff.
I think in general, accountability starts with you. You have to take responsibility for your own actions. But by doing that, it starts by reflecting on yourself, what you hold, what you value in life, what are your boundaries and stuff. And you try to seek other people within that. And yes, you're going to meet other people that you're not going to agree with, and you might agree to disagree. But the thing is, finding surrounding people that help lift you up in life, and you do the same for them. You know, don't waste your time and energy on people that's just gonna drag you down, bring in negativity, and it might not be such a bad thing. They just might have a different point of view.
That's what I was
And
saying
if you can't get along, then you just move on and find the people. You find a group of people that you're happy with.
I think long term.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like you were saying, accountability. No, nobody wants to look in the mirror. They want to break the fucking mirror because they don't like what they see in it. How many times do you hear any of these guys come up there and say, well, you know, I cheated on my wife. That's why she left me. You know, nobody. I say it. Like, I fucked my marriage up. I cheated. I say it all the time. Every time I talk about why I got a divorce, I say I ruined the relationship, even though I'm the one that decided to leave. Where's that accountability at? With the rest of y'all fuckers at? Sit up here and act like you're perfect. You didn't do anything wrong. It's all the system fault. It's all the government fault. It's all women fault. Like, we have no flaws. At least I got the balls to say it.
So are you saying that the man who watches red pill content and then makes a conscious decision not to get married, that man should get married? Or
no? I
don't
the
whole point of what he just said.
The man should do what makes him happy in life without regret.
No, I mean, no, that's the point I'm trying to make. My point is the men are just consuming the content and then they're making rational decisions not to get married. And then society is trying to shame them for not getting married after they consumed red pill content and said, wait a minute, the laws are against me. This would be stupid to do. So I'm not going to do it.
The laws are, maybe they think the laws are, but there are tools you can use. One, if you want to stop a woman from leaving you,
but it's not really worth the work. It's not worth it.
But men are still getting married, though. Men are still getting married in America. You know what I mean? Icy's up here. Icy, how you doing? You're up. Men are still getting married. You're not going to stop men from getting married. It makes no sense to tell all men in America not to get married, not to have kids. Like, it's never gonna happen. You know, it's just never gonna happen.
I think on this,
who's marriage more important for, men or women?
I'll be honest, I really don't.
What does that even mean? Who is it more important for? What does that even mean?
It means who's it?
You know,
who is it more important?
Okay, so men don't care. So men can live with a woman and not be married to her, and that's fine.
I did it for 13 years.
Okay, so it's more important.
I don't advocate for marriage or against it.
So women
can't lump all men or women. You can't lump all men or women.
But I do advocate. I'll say this: I don't advocate for marriage or against it. What I do advocate for is proper vetting, having boundaries and standards, you know, and sticking by them. Get a fucking prenup. Stop ignoring red flags. You know, that's more important than saying, "Hey,
is that love? Is a prenup love though?
No, but it's protecting your assets.
But if you have to do
that men are so.
Do you think you should marry somebody that you have to get a prenup with?
I think you should have a prenup regardless. Maybe it should be standard.
Do you think you should marry someone just because you love them? Do you think you should marry someone just because you love them?
If you love them, you should need a prenup, right?
Why are we even talking about getting married? If you love somebody, that doesn't mean you have to marry them. There's a lot of reasons why.
That's my point.
Hold on. There's a lot of reasons why people get married, and these reasons are all different. Some people, they get married because they think, oh, we love each other. That's the next logical step. Get married. Some people get married because there's legal reasons why they get married. There's so many reasons why people get married. Some people do it out of rebellion to their parents. Most people get married
just because the woman, basically, you know, society and the women coax them into doing it. Weak men want access to sex.
No, don't say most.
Talking about, man, it ain't society and the women
Why did you get married, Cisco? Why did you get married?
Well, I'll tell you what, before you move the goalposts again, let me finish on the last point. The bottom line is there's a lot of reasons why people get married. And if your other question was, who's it more important to? Well, it depends. It depends on the people. It depends on the marriage. But I will say this, for the history of mankind, okay, let's put it a better way. For the history of this country, okay, there have been it's been male dominated. Okay. Men have had all the power, men have had all the money, men have been the ones in charge, and women have been subordinate. And when rational people started getting in charge of things, okay, and they realized, hey, you know what, when a man marries a woman, he has all the money, she has zero, and she lives with him for 20 years, cleans the house, takes care of the kids, does all that kind of stuff, and then the man decides, you know what, I'm gonna leave her, I'm gonna kick her to the curb. She's left with nothing. She didn't have a job because he didn't want her working. She didn't have any way to accumulate money or wealth other than what he had. So she gets kicked to the curb and has to start all over again. She gets kicked to the curb and has to take care of kids. No. So what they
So
decided was, you know what? Hold on. So what they decided was, we need to make there be a little bit more of a level playing field here. When this happens, the women deserve something, okay? Because they can't just go out and buy a house, buy cars, do all these. They have no money. So they had to level the playing field. Now, there are extreme cases where you get the Dwight Howards, and I don't know all the details, but she's married to him 6 months. It depends on what state you get the divorce in. There's a lot of laws that are in play, but let's just, for the sake of argument, say she's going after a lot of his stuff that, she didn't earn or she didn't deserve. Okay, we can argue about whether that's right or wrong, and that's what the laws are for. Okay, people, can debate on what the law should be, but the vast majority of people, they're not in Dwight Howard's position. They're like Blizzard saying, the guy that's got 40K, 100K, okay, and the women aren't coming up. They're not going to be rich and wealthy. But should a woman who stays home, takes care of the kids, takes care of the house, should she be left with nothing because their marriage doesn't work out? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. The answer to that question is absolutely yes. Biblically, a woman, when
Don't
she
bring the
divorces
Bible
her
into
husband,
it. That's a whole non-starter.
Unfortunately,
Let's
that's why
talk
you don't like
rationally.
God. This is why you don't like
No,
God, because it goes
what are you
against
talking
your
about?
feminist
Hold
religion.
on. Let Icy
You
say
actually
something,
are
man.
male feminine.
Y'all kind of long-winded, man.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's a long-winded.
Yeah, I've been
Let
trying to
Icy
talk.
say something, man. Welcome, Icy. How you doing?
It's a good thing I'm black and white because I can get to the point faster than Cisco can.
Icy, you there?
As a viewer, yes. Can you hear me, guys? Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
You're a little low.
Fine.
Yeah, this is my problem.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is what I'm hearing, like watching and listening to you guys. This has always been a problem of mine, like being online and being on video is like, how, I'm sorry for this word, how stupid can it really be that men and women are actually competing to each other or blaming each other when it's totally like we're on a different planet, y'all. We have to understand each other if you really want to be with a good partner. And you can always blame the woman about this and that, abusing the system. But if it's vice versa or if it's reverse, I'm pretty sure it'll be the same thing. Men and women, humans will abuse the system if they want to. And it's out there, you know? So for me, just be smart. If that's what you want to do you boo-boo. But at the same time, this is my problem with online and social media. It's just because it's your reality. And I'm not talking about any specific person. I mean, I'm included in here. It's like I am trying to be aware of what I say on public because my reality is not going to be your reality. But if you can learn something from what I'm saying, then apply it for yourself. But do you? And if you do apply it, be accountable, be mature about it. Don't point fingers. Because if you want to be treated like an adult, if you want to be treated seriously, do a choice or do a smart choice. But do not act like a stupid person and insist on something that obviously the other person is not hearing. Hence the title of this live stream, guys. Talk. Who wants to listen?
It's not that nobody's listening. It's just that you have two people who are firm in their belief systems. I'm firm in my religious beliefs. Cisco's firm in his feminist beliefs, and that's not going to change. It's not that we're not listening to each other.
But I do agree with Icy. Whether you're in a relationship or marriage, it's about building a better life together. And you can't do that if you're at odds with one another. If your values and principles don't align, then you're going to always have conflict.
So, Cisco, are you a male feminist?
Calling somebody names is like...
No, I'm asking them, so I won't call them a male feminist no more.
I'll tell you what, MK. I'll tell you what, MK.
I won't call you a male feminist if you tell me you're not a male feminist.
Define feminist for me.
You worship women. Women are your god.
No.
Okay, you don't
Next
worship
question.
women. Okay, there, clear, good.
I don't worship anyone or anything. How about that?
Well, by default, you do worship something, but
I
that's
worship
my religious
nothing.
belief.
I worship nothing.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
To be
Let me
honest,
give you a definition of worship.
Yeah, Q.
Okay.
Don't mess with sis Icy, man.
Yeah, and I do hope that he's trolling, because if he's not, you're gonna have a life.
Come
So
on,
that's all
that's a
I'm
little bit
saying.
funny. Q's a little bit funny.
Yeah, I know, but I just
If you
see
want to
him
play with the
really
boys, I see you
innocent.
gotta
But
take the shots.
well, the thing is, I can take a shot, but the question is, can you take a shot from me, a woman?
Yeah. Icy
So
can
that's
hold her
what I'm
own.
saying.
Icy can hold her own.
I didn't say it. Q said it. I'm just agreeing with them.
No, but I'm just saying, if you're agreeing with him, I'm gonna say the same thing. If you want to throw something at me, make sure you can grow a pair of yourselves too,
If I
because
can
I don't
sit here
hold
and
back.
listen to Cisco, I can sit here and listen to Icy. At least Icy is an actual woman.
Yeah, and the thing is with MK, this has always been a thing with me, and MK knows about this, is like Cisco says, there's a lot more to learn about MK. And that's why I, like, way back, I asked him to be one-on-one with me, because he's a different person on panel, on the chat, on the screen, and he's a different person on the chat. So I was always thinking, which one do you want me to interact, MK? And when I say MK hi, can you at least say hi back? Because it's really getting under my skin. Nah, I'm trolling. Okay.
Yeah. Salute.
Go on, guys.
Salute, Bruce. How you doing, man? Salute. Hassan, salute, man. Our planets are different. MGTOWs need to realize there's a time and place for the stars to align.
honestly, I don't know how to label myself. I just consider myself Adam. I'm just me. I don't try to be anybody.
MGTOWs be like men go their own way. I don't know what really MGTOW is, to be honest, man. The true
men go their own way.
I know what that means, but I just haven't seen it in action. Like, do they forego women altogether? Are they part of the passport bro movement where they're going?
There's different denominations of MGTOW.
I don't know. Because if you can't say MGTOW and then go to the Philippines and find a wife, you know what I mean?
I think that goes back to what I was saying. People try to change a word to suit their agenda. Just label it for what it is.
He says MK is juvenile. I don't know, man. MK could go like back and forth with me, man, because he'll say some profound things, but then again he'll say,
"I'm just ahead of my time.
You're feminine." You know what I'm saying?
I'm used to the world not being able to
come out of his
agree
mouth
with
yet.
me.
Nah, I watch his live streams. Like he does have.
I'm not saying there can't be. I'm just saying I haven't heard anything tonight.
Well, when it comes to religion and talking about the new world order, I also MK can think.
Cisco's an atheist, so there's not much you can do with that. I can't really.
The Georgia Guidestones is probably a good place to start with the new world order when that was initially presented, but it's been longer than that with the older like Templars and the Masonries and stuff like that. Now, talking about religion, there are verses that are omitted from the original King James version that you can find in the Ethiopian Bible, which is the closest Bible to the original one.
Yeah, but
and if you go
there's
back,
more people in the world that do not believe in the Bible than there is that believes in the Bible.
All right, well, never mind the Bible. Let's one more question for Cisco. Pro-life or pro-choice?
Just gotta say that.
Cisco, pro-life or pro-choice?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Pro-life or pro-choice?
Yeah.
What are those even? What does that even mean?
On abortion? No abortion?
Doesn't matter.
Do I agree that a woman should be able to have an abortion? Is that what you're trying to ask me?
Yeah.
Should she have the right to bodily autonomy? Yes, she should.
All right, there we go. You guys got everything you need to know about Cisco. We know where he stands.
Matter.
Yeah, you totally know everything about me. You totally know everything about me right there. Yeah, letting a woman do what she wants with her own body. I know that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy talk.
Both MK and Cisco have valid points.
So MK, MK,
we're gonna put y'all two together behind the scenes so y'all could talk.
Behind the scenes. Oh no, am I being thrown off? Am I being thrown off?
No.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I gotta go to work anyway.
Outside of this, man.
Well,
let me ask y'all a question. Honestly, man. I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer back to what the topic was. When was the last time you realized you were totally wrong about something, but didn't want to admit it because your pride got in the way?
Probably helping those that didn't deserve it. Helping other people that didn't really deserve it. I always worked hard and tried to make the right choices. You know, I'm never perfect. I made mistakes along the way, but I tried to learn from them. And now I say I'm in a position where I'm happy, and I just have to maintain it. Is it actually perfect? No, it never will be, and that's life.
No, yeah, I'm actually wrong a lot of times, especially when I'm doing like my Bible studies. I'll start reading, and then I'll say something, and then I'll read a little bit more, and I'll be like, oh crap, the Bible just contradicted what I just said, so then I have to correct myself. So yeah, I'm wrong a lot because I don't read in context.
Do you admit it?
Yeah, I will admit I made a mistake.
All right, that's what's up. How about you, Cisco?
When was the last time I was wrong about something and I didn't want to admit it?
Yeah, absolutely wrong about something, but you couldn't admit it. You didn't want to admit it because of your pride.
I can't think of a time. It's been a long time because, I mean, for me, I know I'm wrong, you know, on things, and I have no problem admitting it. You know, I have no problem admitting that I don't know things too. I think that's a bigger problem is people don't admit that they don't know things. They would rather make up things, or they would rather believe things that aren't true than admit that they don't know. But as far as me not knowing something and then not admitting that or being wrong about something and then not admitting it, I don't know, because I feel like I do admit it. As soon as I realize I'm wrong, I admit it.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same way. I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind not knowing something. If you say some shit that I don't know, if you ask me a question that I don't know, I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and posture, and I think that's a good way to be, man. So thanks for answering that, man. You know,
I don't know.
Anybody wants to put in the chat too. Go ahead, Adam.
I don't know everything, but I'm always willing to learn, and I'll do that until I take my last breath. That's what life's about. Always learning something new and applying it to your life. Applying it to your life that makes you happy. You know.
But can I add something?
I see you want to answer that. Oh.
Can I add something here? Sometimes, you know, people would say, like, they would admit they're wrong. But as of late, I always see as well people who would admit they're wrong, and then they would have, but they'll have excuses. So the real question is, are you admitting you're wrong without excuses, or you're admitting you're wrong and making excuses? That's more of what I'm focused into most of the time. But I'm never wrong. I'm a woman, remember?
Oh, you wrong too, just like everybody else. Everybody else. I was talking to this kid today he's from the Dominican Republic, and I was talking to him today, and he said, you know what I realized about you Americans? You don't mind apologizing, but you don't like changing. That's what he said. He said
Yeah,
you don't
exactly. It's
you
like,
don't
And
I
mind
that
don't think
admitting
you're
you're wrong,
wrong.
but you
that
don't want
goes
to
back.
change.
That goes to a comment that I say. I said many people today rather seek validation instead of seeking
Yeah.
solutions to the
And
problems.
sometimes they would say they're wrong and then do it again and again and again and again. It's like, what do you want me to do with you? It's like, it's just, I swear to God, sometimes there's too much middle-aged children. And for me, it's more of a question of, is like, how are we, the question still stands, people, how are we going? And I'm saying this in a good place, just disclaimer. I'm not saying I'm smart. I'm just saying we're all stupid at some point and some factors. But how can you teach a stupid person?
Some people will make the wrong choices because that's the easiest path to follow. And yeah,
Remedial.
you can't fix stupid. The only thing, two things you can do with it is either medicate it or stay away from it. And that's all you can do. If people are not unwilling to learn, unwilling to grow, you can't help them. And because you have a certain view, doesn't mean that how your happiness that you found doesn't mean that you can force your happiness onto somebody else because everybody is different. Some
Yeah.
people are happy. Some people are happy living in the darkness, afraid to come out in the light. Other people rather do what they rather crawl, scoot, do whatever they have to get to bask in the light. Everybody's different. You
So
know.
when you say stupid, what do you mean though? Stupid? Like they just don't know something,
Because,
or
like,
they're unwilling to learn something.
yeah, that one. Because this is what I've learned throughout my life is that we're all stupid. But what makes the difference is if you're willing to learn and if you're not willing to learn. And there's a lot of factors in it. But I think I'm pretty much everyone would agree we are what we are right now because majority doesn't want to listen anymore. How many middle-aged or how many elders we get to encounter in our lives where they're so tired and they're so irritated and frustrated because no one listens to them anymore. And it's not about, being young, not knowing the world. It's like they're not, some of these elders, they're not really telling you what to do. They're just telling you their stories. But how much younger generation do you ever heard of that they would actually talk to their elders, seek for guidance with the elders? No, they're not. They're listening to influencers, YouTubers, who also, one of the things that I'm really frustrated is like no critical thinking anymore. It's like you can actually see an influencer in there, so much followers and viewers, and they would say something, do not date single mothers. And yet behind the scene, they are dating single mothers. It's like, how do you listen to this? It's like, I don't understand. This is what I'm
Yeah,
saying about
say
stupidity.
that. There's
Okay.
one I know. I
I'm
seen
passionate,
one.
guys. I'm not
I
shaming, I'm
seen
not judging.
the,
I'm just
I
passionate about
think
this.
the
I think
biggest
my
one against dating single mothers. Come to find out, he's dating and married. I think married a single mother. So it's
yeah.
like I said,
I
I don't
think
advocate for it. I don't advocate against it. Do what you think is best for you. That's
I
that's
think
it.
my definition of stupidity is a person who complains about doing anything to make the changes necessary to improve or change their circumstances. You know.
Yeah. I think
Also, a
that's
def
kind of where you got to find the difference in that. Like that's why I asked that question.
yeah.
It's just somebody that doesn't know, or is it somebody that refuses to learn? Because if they're
And it's
refusing to learn, like there's nothing you can do.
and they're
It's
just
to me,
Shit.
it's
some
more
Even
about
people that
just
sending
not
doesn't.
somebody
knowing.
to
It's some
prison,
people that don't care.
it's a
There's some
willingness.
people that doesn't care either way.
Go ahead,
To me, it's
Cisco.
more about you're unwilling to learn, because if being stupid is just you don't know something, then we're all stupid. Then I guess because there's a lot of stuff we all don't know. So to me, being stupid is you're unwilling to learn.
Yeah.
There's information there, there's guidance there for you to be had, but you don't want to accept it. And there's a lot of reasons why people don't accept it. But at the end of the day, if the knowledge that that's out there that could help you learn something, and you're just unwilling to take it, to me, yeah, you're stupid.
I think each of us has our own personality and how we live our lives. And the
That's right,
people
Grace.
that are viewing this channel, they shouldn't try to copy any one of our lifestyles, because if you try to copy somebody's lifestyle, you're going to be unhappy. But I do suggest if you find things that a person says that has value, try to incorporate that into your life to make your life better. You know, take what you can and do your own research, find your own truths out there. You know, not just use the internet, but real life experience. Listen to people, because everybody has a story, and each story has a lesson to teach. And even if the story is very similar to yours, it comes from a different perspective. You know, and that's what everybody's got to understand. Everybody is different. If everybody was the exact same way, thought the same, done the same thing in life, this world would be a very boring place to live. I wouldn't want to live in it.
Yeah. Yeah, salute. Q
All
in the
right, guys.
Philippines. He says,
I gotta go
wow,
to
she's
work,
actually
guys.
making sense. Yo, all right, MK, man. Thanks for stopping by, bro.
Take care, MK.
Have a nice day
He
at
says,
work.
wow, actually making sense. Yo, Icy's the shit, man. You should go check out her channel. Matter of fact, she's going live. Q's in the Philippines. So yeah, she'll be going live for you in the PM. What time, Icy? What time you going live?
In Japanese time, it'll be 7:30, 45, I think.
So 6:45 in the Philippines, Q. If you want to
Yeah.
come through, drop your channel, Icy. So
Yada!
yeah, man, come
I don't want
shit,
to.
man.
I'm here for
No, no,
support.
no,
Come and
7:45.
find
no, no,
me.
no, no, no. Everybody else got to drop it. Come
Come
on.
and find me, guys.
It's
Icy Fit, Icy Fit. Check her channel out, bro. Like, for real,
yes,
man.
it'd be 7:45 in Thailand. But
Salute,
just use
salute.
use Cisco as an example. I think a lot of things I say in Cisco we kind of disagree, but at the same time we respect each other. But if we were to take the time to really sit down and talk, I think that we could find a middle ground that works for everybody. You know, and
I honestly
I
haven't.
think that.
I can't think of too many things that you said that I really don't agree with. So I'm wondering, what in particular do you think you and I disagree on?
Uh, Abortion for one thing,
Oh, I don't even know
but
your stance on it.
pro-life.
Okay, so I mean, I hate the term pro-life because it's kind of misleading. So basically, you're anti-abortion is what you're really saying, right?
No, I'm not saying I'm completely anti-abortion, but I just don't think somebody should um, have an abortion because they decide to have sex. You know, there are different ways to protect yourself from that. And in some circumstances, when it comes to health, like being
Frank Tate in the building. What's up,
forced to
Tate?
sex or
Mr.
something
Tate.
like that, yeah, I can consider why somebody would have would want an abortion. Before it's, just, oh, I'm gonna go out here and have sex and not use protection, do anything, and I got pregnant. Oh, now, well, let's get an abortion.
Well,
My
I don't
choice,
want
my
to hijack the
body.
lie. I don't want to hijack
Yeah,
the lie with a whole abortion debate, but I'll
I was
say
gonna say
this.
that because neither one of y'all gonna change the other one mind.
Well, I'm
No,
not trying to
that's
change. I'm
why I
not trying to
said
change
we're
your mind
gonna
on this.
agree to disagree.
Well, I'm not even going to agree to disagree. What I'm going to say is this: if you personally don't like the fact that, if you disagree with somebody having an abortion because they got pregnant by mistake and now they want to have an abortion, then don't go get an abortion for yourself. But that's fine. But if you want to take that right away from other people, that's where the problems start. So
So
that's where.
how does pregnancy happen by mistake? Somebody has to put the pecker into a woman for them to do something. It doesn't just
It's
happen
a
by
mistake.
sex.
It could be a mistake if somebody's using a condom and the condom breaks and somebody gets pregnant, that would be a
That's
mistake.
a exception to the rule.
But
Every circumstance has an
but
exception.
I'm you just asked the
All
question.
right,
I'm just saying
yeah.
stuff like that happens.
All right. Let me get to some of these comments real quick, man. Where was I at, bro? Frank Tate's in the building. It's not stupidity. That's insanity. He's talking about the unwillingness to learn. He says, I agree. Frank, what's up? Put Icy link in the chat because I can't find it. I can't find her. Yeah, I think I did it. It's not. It's down here somewhere. Yeah, it's down there now. Juicy Icy fit permission to post. Why don't you have any videos on your channel? That's her support channel. Yeah, it's in there. Oh, never mind. Seen it now. Yeah. So oh wow, the makeup of folks switched out.
Oh, by the way, let me just get this opportunity just to say, guys, because some of you probably I could rub the wrong way. It's like I just use this account because I've heard there's a lot of content creators that have hang-ups sometimes when they see your main channel supporting, and then they would throw these things about, oh, you're just promoting yourself here, blah, blah, blah. You're just fishing, blah, blah, blah. So to avert or avoid that kind of misconceptions, I use this personal account to support because I go to streams to support. And if the host of the channel wants to promote me, that's up to the host channel. So that's just what I'm saying. But thank you guys for actually welcoming me and actually really listening to me. So it's a good stream overall because we need to listen, not just talk. So thank you guys for welcoming me.
And on that note, you see how perception is not always reality. Because then you even see Q saying, oh, wait, she making sense. You know what I mean? And then also with Cisco, oh, what's wrong with Cisco tonight? He's making points. Because you can't glean a person's entirety off of what you see on the internet. We all have these different sides to us, man. We're very, very complex individuals, man. We can act like we're not all we want to, you know. But even if I was promoting myself as Red Pill, coming up here, blah 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 blah, deep down inside, I wouldn't feel right doing it because I know that I'm more complex than that. You know. Even Adam, man. Adam seems like so nice. Like I know he got a dark side, man. He got something in there, man. Let somebody fuck with one of his family and see what comes out of him, bro.
I keep my beast chained up.
I got it in me, you know.
But to be fair, I'm 53 years old. I'm not in good health. I'll be a fool to get here acting like I'm some bad A, and I never done that. I just defended myself if it becomes necessary. But I don't go ahead creating problems. And just to go back onto pro-life or pro-choice, I think when it comes down to it and you break it down, if you look at both sides, both sides have valid points. And I think there's some way there can be a middle ground in that. And to really find that middle ground, people are going to have to sit down and really talk about it, even the uncomfortable things, even the things that they disagree upon. So that's why a lot of times I do. Some things I agree with. A lot of things I do agree with Cisco. It's just kind of like NK. I kind of agree with some of the things he says about religion, but at the same time, it's just how he delivers it, the way that he says it. It's like he's trying to get a shock in all factor. Trying to get a response from somebody. To rouse somebody up, push the buttons.
Yeah.
I mean, that more or less is how I feel about it. I mean, yeah, he's it's almost like he's playing a character, but I think he kind of lives that character. And again, I'm not trying to
so.
Well, I mean, I think he lives the character in the sense that it's a safer place for him to live that role than it is for him to deal with the realities of the world. I mean, I think a lot of these red pill guys, that's just how it is for them. The realities of the world are just very uncomfortable for them, and they got to figure out a way to make themselves feel powerful, feel heard. So they play these roles, these characters, and it's
the problem
I can't deal with somebody like that.
The problem is that it's YouTube. So it's like, it's hard. You don't know. He could switch off that shit and be like, hey, honey, you need anything? You don't know. You don't know.
It may or may not be that way.
And you don't know at all. Like Q in the Philippines, he's a nice guy, man. He's a very nice guy, man. I know he would give his wife anything she asks for, bro. I don't care what he says in my chat, bro. I don't care, bro. But he says, I really don't care about the abortion topic. I'm not religious, so do what you. That's me too. And I think that's what pro-choice means. For me, like I don't have a say in what somebody else does. I could vote, but I don't even think like for me, it's a done deal. Like I can't tell anybody else what to do on that. You know, that's just me. That's just how I feel. So I'm not gonna go back and forth and try to change your mind over something that's been codified. Honestly, I don't even follow what's going on with abortion, to be honest, man. So
I can say that I'm pro-choice, but at the same time, I can't force my beliefs on somebody else. You know, especially with the laws and all that. I can't force what I believe, my agenda on somebody else. It's like when people talk. Like, if I want to, I can talk about the bad things I don't like about America. I can also do that about Thailand. But what does that resolve? What does that solve? Does that make me happy? Does that improve my life? No, I'll focus on what is going to make my life better with my wife. And we create a better life together. And that's what life's about.
And I think that's the point I was trying to make, Adam, was that, I mean, I have no problem with you believing whatever you want to believe about anything. It's when those beliefs turn into enforcing that on other people that, we start to have a problem. And it's like, I can,
welcome
I
to the
think,
stream, RS.
what's up, RS?
Hey guys.
I think it's okay to enforce some of your beliefs on other people if we can all agree that, you got to reason things out. I mean, there's laws for a reason. I mean, you can't just let everybody just do whatever they want. But at the end of the day, like I said with that other issue, you have to sit down and understand it's a very complicated issue, and for people
I agree.
It's just not black and white.
You said the mere fact that it keeps coming up shows how they've ingrained this debate into our subconscious. A reasonable, not perfect solution is obvious to rational. Is it okay? Come on, MK, bro. See, I don't think it's gonna get the response that you're looking for, though. So I just don't think it is, because I know Cisco, man.
As far as new guy on the panel,
these conversations a lot.
Can I speak to that real quick? So
here
we go. Yeah, I would, because here we got another guy that's going to attack my wife. Him and Q. They don't even know my wife. They don't even know me, but they're saying this stupid crap, and like I said, I don't care if they apologize later or, oh, that was too much. For that to even come out of your mouth in the first place just shows me what kind of person that you are. You're a very disrespectful, evil person, or you're just somebody who doesn't think before you open your mouth. And I don't have time for either one of those people. So, I would never talk about some other man's wife. I would never talk about some other man's family, because you just don't go there. That's how I was raised. If I got a problem with you, I'll take it up with you. But for you to attack somebody's family, how soft and weak of a man must you be to have to go to that level to, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I mean, it's just, like I said, it's just a waste of time to talk to somebody like that.
And honestly, I got to realize that
I had to go to work.
I don't know, like, honestly, what's happened to me. Have I spent so much time on this internet shit that I'm numb to that? Because I seen it, and honestly, I didn't even react to it. And I should have. And I would have before. Like, don't bring another man's wife up. There's no reason for that. But I think I'm getting numb because it's just commonplace. It's so commonplace. But then again, it's the fucking topic of tonight, bro. It's the topic, and it's playing right out in front of our eyes, man.
Yeah, and I think
I said right out in front of our eyes, man.
I think I said something to that effect. I forgot exactly what I said when that was brought up, talking about his wife and all. I said, I think it was something like I'll just reword it this way. Cisco has a right to be happy in his life, and who am I to judge his happiness? And why am I going to talk about somebody else and pointing fingers or making, bad comments and stuff like that when I have an imperfect life? I got a lot of problems I need to fix myself before I can start pointing fingers.
Everybody in this chat has something that they could fix about their fucking selves.
Exactly.
MK, Q, Juice, who else in there? Icy, RS, me. What time?
Hey, I'm
Frank,
perfect,
DJ, Cisco, Adam, Russ, every single one of us, man.
Yeah, I'm perfect too.
Yeah, right? No,
I
I'm
know
joking.
I'm not perfect, man. I don't even.
No, but this is my
It's like,
question
yo,
is
why do we go out of our way? Why do we go out of our way to constantly point out the faults in others?
because it's easier. So this is one of the things that when I started my channel, I'm so very firm with what are my rules and
No,
regulations. And this is like politics, religion, and personal, my private life, because I'm not a family vlogger. And people will poke. So my question is, when you say personal and private, is there any general consensus of what that it means? Because sometimes it's really
it's pretty
frustrating when you say it and then they're still gonna
amongst men.
ask about it.
Amongst men, it's usually pretty understood that you don't bring the wife and family into it. I'm pretty sure you could call Cisco anything in the book, but it's pretty understood amongst men that you don't bring the wife and kids into it.
Amongst men, yes, you're right.
That
Amongst men,
used to be just pretty straightforward and understood.
Well, I don't know Cisco, but just hearing him, I doubt anybody would say anything about his wife and his physical presence.
hasn't happened.
I don't know. Some guys would, some guys wouldn't.
Well,
but just to say that I know that you would have to defend yourself probably. I can't say who will win or not. But that's like it pretty used to it was just unspoken agreement amongst men. Me and you could go at it. We could fight.
Men is the operative word there.
But Blizz, in my experience, and this is just my experience alone, so obviously I'm trying to figure it out. In my experience, it's usually the guys who likes to poke. Like the conversation is totally not about my relationship. I'm talking about a topic, and then out of a sudden they would say something like, "Oh, what does your husband think about this?" It's like, huh? So when you say something in consensus with men, but usually this is where men comes to play in my streaming experiences. So does that mean these guys are not men?
I would argue that they are not men.
I'm not gonna say they're not men. I'm gonna say that that's just not a manly thing to do.
They are not men.
Well, pardon my language, they're men, but they're acting like assholes.
I'll just say on this particular thing, it's not right to do. And I would say this. I'll make a rule right now. Then I'll make a rule on this channel, man. Leave the family and kids out of it. Leave the family and kids out of it. We could go at it. We can have conversations. We can argue and fight here. It's not out of bounds, but leave the wife and kids out of it.
Thank you, Blizzard. I appreciate that.
It's not too much to ask, man. Like I said, I'm even getting numb to this social media shit. Because that should have been a hard written rule, man. We're getting too comfortable, man.
This stuff continues because it gets a pass. That's the problem. I mean, there's some things we can't control because people can be anonymous on the internet, say a bunch of crazy stuff, and troll people and stuff, and there's not a lot you can do about it. But when in a space like this where you control who says what, who even could come in here, I mean, we have to not give this stuff a pass because there's just some things that people are doing that it's ridiculous and there's no reason for it. All it does is tear everybody down. I don't even understand how a man who who cares about his own family, if you love and respect your own wife, if you love and respect your own children, how you can attack another man's wife and children is beyond me. I don't understand it. What kind of man are you?
If
Yeah.
if a person, like say they're in a relationship and they're having a problem within their marriage, I'm not going to attack a man or woman directly. I might offer constructive criticism and try to maybe offer a solution that might help them out. And if I can't, will take the time to listen so they can get that off their chest. Sometimes just talking about it, what's bottled up, makes things a little bit easier, you know. Nobody has all the right answers in this world. Nobody has all the solutions. But sometimes that's when other people can possibly help. And if they can't help, they can listen.
No, Frank says no person could judge me harder. I'm sorry I gotta cut you off, man, but I gotta get to some of the chat. I don't mean to cut you off all the time, Adam.
No problem.
I just really gotta like kind of I want to get to some other stuff, man. Honestly, man. Like no person could judge me harder than I judge myself. People need to. Bruce says people need to just have conversations, be respectful, act like adults. But it's not. I'm not saying that we can't disagree, and that this is gonna be some utopia where nobody gets upset, nobody name calls. We don't want it, but at least if it happens, if you get upset, just leave the family out of it. He says, no, how about be respectful in general, no name calling. It's all right, man. Like I said, we're human. We're not perfect, man. You want to call me an asshole? Call me an asshole. There's no need to call my kid an asshole or my wife an asshole or bring them up. They're not here. You know what I mean? So if you want to talk about Cisco, keep it to Cisco. It's not too much to ask. That's just not too much to ask, man. You could call Cisco a name. He could take it. He's right here. If he wants to respond, he'll respond. But don't bring his wife up. That's the second time. I think the first time it didn't even happen in this channel, but that is the second time.
Oh. So do you feel like a lot of people could talk and talk and talk? Because this is how I see it. And it's clearer to me recently that some of the people who hate promote shame, promote hate, and in a very bad place. It's all projection. So for me, it's so easier to actually just mute the irrelevancy. So for you guys, have you ever had those kinds of realization, or you're still trying to be triggered as easily, or does that stuff, or you can actually compartmentalize what is the relevant and irrelevancy since ever since I am in this world, everyone throws that men are logical, women are illogical, and it's like, huh, for me. So with you guys, since we're in a sausage 14, can you really explain to a woman if you can actually understand what's the relevant and irrelevancy in certain topics? And how do you choose it? How do you choose who to listen to? How do you choose to who to talk to? And all of that stuff.
I'll say for myself, talking to people like, MKQ, I don't really talk to them and debate them to change their minds because they are who they are and they can't help themselves. But there are people who are listening. And I'm not even just talking about right here in this chat or in YouTube. I'm talking about life in general. I have conversations with people that are just morons, I think. And I'm not trying to change their mind. I'm not even trying to enlighten them or anything because I already know they're what we were talking about before. They're stupid. They don't want to learn. They're unwilling to learn. But the things that they're saying can influence people the wrong way, like this red pill bullshit. It influences people the wrong way. So you have to push back on it, not to change the mind of the people that are spouting it, but to the people that might be listening that think, oh, nobody's pushing back against this. It must be okay. So
Yeah.
that's why I say the things I say.
Yeah, I think it is right to, you need to have people countering these ideas and yeah,
If you want to be out, be out. I'm sorry to cut you out. I'm sorry, bro. But nobody said anything about your family. And you do have a family. And nobody's brought them up out of respect as men. That's how I grew up. That's how I was raised. That's how I've been as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to cut nobody off, but I gotta address some things, and it's just the way I am. I'm a respectful person. I'm gonna try my best not to even disrespect you, but I do understand that people are gonna have disagreements. Should it be without name calling? Yes. Is it always gonna be that way? No. So could we keep it just to the two people that are having a disagreement without bringing the family in? Yes. It's always been that way as men. From where I'm from, I don't know where you from. Where you get upset at a man and attack his wife and say something. That's that new age social media shit. And I understand that you're young, but maybe you should stay around grown men. Shit, I've been in relationships longer than you've been an adult, bro.
Well,
maybe you could learn something. Maybe you can't. But if you want to leave, deuces, bro.
The way I was
I
raised,
got time for it, man.
The way I was raised and brought up, say I was out with my wife and met Cisco and his wife when we were out and I spent time together. Somebody came up to Cisco and started talking about his wife like they do on this channel. Cisco might not get the chance to knock that deep end of it because I might do it for him. I don't put up with disrespect like that, and that's just me. You know, it doesn't make me a bad egg. You know, I could get my butt whipped or whatever. I just don't.
But this is the nerve. Then he turns around and calls us weak. No, we're the weak ones because we're drawing a line at not attacking people's families.
I think
I guess Q doesn't agree.
Backwards, man. This world is backwards, man. And this is why. Did your father teach you that? Q, I'm sorry. I don't know if you have a father or not, but if you did, I just want to ask, was that what your father taught you? So when you have a disagreement amongst men, that you bring their wife and kids into it. Is that what your father taught you if you're still here? MK, answer that question, man. You know, if you guys could in the chat, man.
You know,
it's
these
ridiculous,
are the guys that are
man.
arguing
this is the
that
shit that we're
Western
pushing
society
back
is
against.
falling apart. These are the guys that are saying, "Oh, the man's the head of the family," you know, but you don't even know how to conduct yourself in a respectful way. You know, I mean, again, like has been said ad nauseum on here already. You can talk about me as much as you want. I may not like it, you know, but it is what it is. You know, I don't have a problem with it. But you know, again, like Adam said, if this were to happen on the street, it's on site. It's not even a question for me, you know, and that's why you don't talk like that because people have very strong feelings about their family. And to me, the internet is no different than on the street in terms of how you should conduct yourself. I don't say the things I say differently here than I would on the street, you know, because that's how I was raised. You know, I didn't grow up in a bubble. You know, I grew up where people can reach out and touch you, and I still live in that world. So for me, I can't be on here having all this crazy talk that I wouldn't accept if I was in front of you. So I mean, that's why I don't fuck with either one of those dudes now.
Oh, and let me clarify as well one thing when I ask the question personal. This is where sometimes I find a lot of people get into misunderstandings. It's like what is personal to another person seems to be like super subjective, that if it is not personal to them, then they can just throw it. So now I'm asking you, Westerners, because most of the people here are Westerners, when you say something personal, private, because the way I see it, when it seems to be that way and the context is not in there, is like, why are you bringing people that's not in the room? Why are you bringing people that's not included in the conversation? Or it's something about that I don't promote in my channel if we're talking about as content creator. And for me, that's where it's like, what was it? Huh? It's like, this is where I said, nothing personal. Do not be petty with me. Because for me, and I'm not saying and being specific of whatever is going on with you guys, I'm just saying, it's like when you take things too personal, this is where, for me, I lose interest, because that's kind of like the lowest discussion for me when someone is talking back and forth and then they throw something family or something private that is not included. It's like, how low conscientious can you be? Like you just cannot accept that you are wrong, or you cannot just accept that there's faults in your argument, and then you fall into that. So I do understand Cisco, but I also understand the differences of people when they say personal. It doesn't mean that it's personal to them, but it's personal to me. That's why I said always clarify things. If you want to say something, clarify where are you coming from? Why would you throw these questions? And
MK's
if
trying
the
to
person
clarify.
says it's personal, do not say that. Do not argue about it. You're not in the person's head. He says it's top, it says it's boundaries, then just respect it. It's like, what's wrong with that? Just be nice.
So MK's trying to clarify what he meant now. He was asking a question to Cisco. It has nothing to do with his wife. Hypothetical question, but that's the way it came across. I got what you said the second time you did it, but by then it was kind of too late. You know what I mean? And that's just how we have to choose our words. Sometimes we spout off and we don't really clarify ourselves, like Icy was just saying, you know. And
Cisco is Cisco. Why does anybody need to label
and you don't know.
and
that's why we need to, I guess I do need to set boundaries. I want an open discussion. I want to be able to have an open discussion without censoring people, without saying you can't say this, you can't say that. But I guess you do need to have a rule, because if he said that about me, I wouldn't be offended. I wouldn't, because I just know the atmosphere I'm in, and I steel myself against that shit. I know I'm coming on the internet. I know people say crazy shit, but that doesn't mean that everybody is going to react like that. And I don't want to chase people away from my channel. Before my channel becomes atmosphere, a channel where people are fighting and yelling and screaming, I'll just stop doing live streams before it even gets to that. You know what I mean? And I'll just do uploads. We need this. We need this space, man. But I'm trying to figure out how to navigate it. How to conduct it more, yo.
There must be a lot of history between MK and Cisco. I'm picking up on.
It's not.
Because MK just constantly.
It's not, man. This might be the third time that they've fucking bumped into each other.
Well, just reading these texts, it just looks like he's saying things to take pokes at Cisco the whole time, and it just seems juvenile to me. I don't get it.
I don't know where it came from. I swear to God, this probably the third or fourth time at most that they've been in the same chat. You know?
Well, like
if I'm wrong, correct me. But
what I would like to say is like in Miss Swishy's channel, correct? MK likes to push his buttons. And I think everybody that's been on Miss Swishy's channel has seen that.
I get MK.
I think
I get him. I understand.
Push people's buttons.
Whether I agree with him or not, I get him, and I know like sometimes he's just trolling. You know,
I get him too. He's a
step on the wrong.
Man.
Sometimes you
and
step on the.
He has issues with insecurity, and he has issues with probably getting picked on when he was younger, or
you doing it too now. See,
no,
you doing it too now.
Hold on.
You ain't attacking his family, but the poke is going back and forth.
But yeah, well, I mean, we already said, talk about the individual because he's here. So, I'm not doing anything, but I'm just saying my opinion on what kind of a person that he is. I mean, this isn't something that I'm just pulling out of my ass. It's something that psychologists talk about. So I mean, the people that act like this, the vast majority of the time, that's where it's coming from. I mean, somebody who's raised, in a healthy environment, somebody who wasn't, victimized when they were younger, they don't act like this, and he can take that however he wants. But I mean, the bottom line is, you're picking and poking at people on the internet when you know damn well you wouldn't do this in real life on the streets, and like I said, who does that? people who are scared, people who are, they get off on, picking and poking because that's the only feeling of power that they have in their life. Dealing with people that, they can bully and intimidate.
I just
I
heard
grew
this
up around
argument.
people
I
like
just
that.
heard this
I grew up
back and
around people
forth.
like that, and
I heard it too
I
many
can't be around it.
times, man. Like honestly, I want to get away from this shit, man. This exact thing that we're doing right now, I want to get away from it. You know what I mean? Because nobody's gonna.
It's not enjoyable to hear all this stuff.
It's not. It's what I see. Honestly, it was what I see on other people's channels, man.
Let's change ourselves from the past and move forward.
Okay.
I just want to say I didn't start this
No, I
stuff.
know.
MK
No, I know that.
started this stuff,
I know
and
that.
like I said, I'm gonna push back. I'm not gonna allow them
Yeah.
to bully and intimidate me like they do to other people in their lives. So me personally, I agree. It's stupid, and that's why when I first came in there, I didn't want to respond to MK because it's just nonsense that he's spouting. But I'm not gonna sit here and just be silent either. So I respect you, Blizzard. I mean, that's the end of it for me. But I don't mess with either one of those two dudes moving forward. I mean, it's just you've already crossed lines with me.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a child, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of time. There's so many
Nah,
other
it's
important things.
it's getting to the point where I understand you. I understand you, MK, but it's like it's starting to become a disruption, man.
This
To
is what
what
I'm
is
saying
supposed to be a
sometimes as
positive
well.
space, man. A positive space, man. A space where men could come to avoid this shit, man. To
See,
avoid
this
it,
is
man.
why
And I
sometimes,
just
guys,
said,
you
like, you're
need
welcome
to
here.
embrace your femininity. Maybe you'll calm yourself some more. Too much
Nah, man, it's
testosterone,
bullshit,
guys,
man.
okay?
Bullshit.
Slow down. Do not take
I'm trying
things
to
too
offer a
personal
space
sometimes.
where we could come and talk it out and talk about our problems, talk about the shit that's wrong with us.
Well, would
Avoid
you?
this shit. All this shit is exactly what I've been talking about, man.
Well,
I don't know if y'all
another.
heard my monologue in the beginning, but y'all could go back and listen to it. I ain't even get through all of it, but you go back and listen to it, and then kind of put it up next to what we seeing tonight, man.
Well, on another
Personal
topic,
attacks. Go ahead, man.
do you guys think men have advantages that women don't have?
Yes.
Men have
Absolutely.
advantages women don't have, and women have advantages men don't have.
You already did, MK. You already embrace your femininity. You talk like us. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna behave now. Sitting
Well,
in the
I'm
corner.
not sure how
I'm
many
gonna sit in
advantages
the
women
corner.
have.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure how many
Some
advantages
shit I don't
women
care
have.
about, man. It's just some shit
Yeah,
I don't
that's
care about, man.
Blizzard, remember at the beginning I commented we should be talking about people's problems and trying to find solutions, and if you can't find solutions, at least listen so they can get that pent up frustration off the chest, where people can actually talk about himself, kind of like your friend, what he was going through, similar to that.
Adam, is your volume low or is it just me?
I had my mic away from my mouth.
Okay.
In other words, listen to people's problems, try to offer solutions, and if you can't offer solutions, let people talk and get it off their chest. Keeping stuff bottled up inside is never good for anybody.
Nah, TJ, it's all good until you bring it's all good until you bring somebody's family into it, man. And whether you meant it that way or not, it's the way it got taken because that's the way it got said the first time. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
I like what Adam said, about
at the end of the day,
solve problems.
at the end of the day, we're here to support men. And if you want to disrupt that, then you're not gonna be allowed. I don't want my channel to be that where I'm blocking people, banning people, but I can't allow my channel to become this other shit. It's fighting, backstabbing, the bullshit, man.
I agree. And whether you're a man or a woman, as long as you're not breaking any laws, you're not hurting anybody, you have a right to be happy in your life, and I will help you defend that. And that's who I am. And, I can't say that for everybody because everybody's different. My world is completely different from everybody else's. But that's how I feel. I will stand up for people to have the right to be happy in their life, doing what makes them happy, as long as it don't harm anybody else.
I mean, at the end of the day, there has to be rules to, conversations because, if we're gonna have the type of space here that you're talking about, Blizzard, there has to be at least some boundaries. You know what I mean? And I think that'll grow as your channel grows, that'll grow, but I think TJ just said, yeah, not everybody needs to be heard all the time. I think people's opinions need to be heard, but when it devolves into attacking people personally or attacking people, and their family, that's when you got to like, okay, let's dial it back. Let's dial it back.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, the topic of today's show is what? People stop listening, and so you got to keep it to where it's a productive thing. If it's no longer productive, then what's the point?
Yeah.
This is why I actually do advocate for all the streamers out there, is that make sure to pick what is relevant and irrelevant, because people are watching, people are listening. And I mean, it's up to every one of us. What do you want, or what are your intentions being in the channel, creating a channel? I mean, do you, boo boo? But for me, if it's irrelevant, I just really don't read it. The period is like, why would I welcome something when it's irrelevant to me? It's like I'm not for that shit. And it's
No,
like, agree to
it
disagree,
don't
but
matter if I read
this is
it.
my
It don't
channel
matter
at
if
the
I
end of
read it.
the
The
day.
person being talked about is gonna read it and react. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like,
Well, what would you have talked about if this didn't get sidetracked by all that stuff?
exactly what they're doing and why we shouldn't do it. But I understand, man. There's always this. Where can you go on YouTube where there's not a troll that's going to show up, or somebody that's not going to push buttons, push somebody else's button? It's always there. It happened last week. It happened last week too.
Well, the simple thing in life is,
why would men push back against spaces like this?
The
I'm not
simple
saying
thing.
I'm running a perfect channel. Why would men try to disrupt a healthy conversation?
You're not going to be able to please everybody. So all you can
So
do
they don't
is
have
try
to be here.
Exactly. But if you're gonna stay here on the channel, you're gonna have to be willing to make some compromises. It doesn't mean that you're gonna have to change your beliefs or anything, but you can agree to disagree. I said that. Icy says it, and other people say it. But it's got to be a certain degree of respect in there, and
I don't know what I was thinking that men understood this rule. It's an unwritten rule that I thought men understood. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about a lot of things and my expectations of men. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm learning. I can learn. I can learn. But these, like Cisco said, these are the same men that have so much complaints about the West, about women, about all these other things. Like, look in the mirror and see how you're acting. Really, man. Really look in the mirror and see how you're acting.
I do not understand the whole red pill thing. I don't get it. I think,
Don't worry, RS. You're not the only one, RS.
You'll
It's
be all
like
right
who
without
gives a shit
understanding what
about
red pill.
labels.
Look, you'll be okay without understanding what red pill is. Believe me.
I mean, I understand it a little bit, but I just don't. It seems like people that are just
Felipe, what up, bro? No, all right. Hold on. You said you understand the movie, right? You said you understand the movie, The Matrix.
Understand why people. It seems like some guys that couldn't find the right partner for them or something, and they're bitter about it. But I know it's got to be more than that. But
It's more to it. It's more to it. It has it has a use, it has a purpose, but people just get stuck in it too long, and just it is what it is, man.
It's to me it seems to be it's a lot of guys who feel powerless. It's a lot of guys who are scared and feel powerless, and there's nothing wrong with that, because a lot of us feel that way sometimes. But the difference between those guys and healthy people is that healthy people look for ways to correct themselves. What these red pill guys try to do is go out and make everybody conform to them. Their way is right. You're the victim. You're the one that everybody is against. Everybody else needs to change. That's the difference. And if you live like that, you're going to have a very unhappy life, because you're not going to change the world. You are not going to change the world.
And like I said, I think red pill has its use. Like I said, I think getting red pilled has its use. It's woken a lot of men up to society and what's going on around us. I think a lot of men, I think a lot of us keep our head down. We work, we take care of our families, and that's it. We sacrifice a lot to take care of our families. We never think about us. So I think a lot of us need that jolt to wake up. But it's temporary. Now, what are you going to do after that? And I don't really have a problem with people going through the red pill. The problem I really be having with is with the creators that want people stuck in that red pill. It becomes a business. It is a business, bro. People making millions of dollars putting out red pill content, bro. You think they want their viewers?
Need to be
you think they want their viewers to elevate and get to the next step, the accountability step? Because that's the next step, right? Wake the fuck up to realize how you got where you're at. And that step 2 has a lot to do with accountability. How many red pill creators do you ever hear talking about step 2, taking accountability? Not fucking one of them. Not one of them, bro.
Because that doesn't suck.
In general, I think the Matrix exists, but at the same time, those are the people who willingly plug themselves into the Matrix. Life, you're going to have to take accountability for yourself, but life is about improving, becoming a better version of yourself. And that is working on your mind, your body, and your spirit. And it comes by making the best of each day that you have. Because, what's in the past, you can't necessarily change what happens in the past. And you don't have no control over the future because it hasn't happened yet. Only thing you have is now, and that's what you can work on. And yes, you can make some changes that happen in the past, and you can somewhat prepare for the future. But nothing is ever guaranteed in life. So do what you can to make you improve yourself.
Well, so I'm 61, will be 62 soon, and my background is in biology, engineering, and computer science. But I believe that the ultimate red pill is really understanding biology and physics. And that's as close as we can get to reality. And, you can sort of, by trying to understand fundamental biology, you can sort of understand the world, the modern world. And I think it's a very helpful frame. We're all animals, even though we like to think as humans that we are special in certain attributes for sure, but we're all still animals. And
just highly evolved, but still animals, to be honest.
Yeah, and we react to external stimuli and stuff, and pressures and stresses and stuff, and it pushes us along and motivates us to do what we do, and sex drive and all those other things. And I think, yeah, you don't have to beat anybody up if somebody's having a hard time or whatever, but the more you
RS, you gotta. Icy says she would love to pick your brain sometimes. Hey, fellas, man, everybody, man, I'm not gonna be up here too much longer. I do have to be up for work in like 3.5 hours. So I do want to say,
how's that going, by the way, Blizzard? How's that
amazing,
going, by the way?
Amazing,
awesome, brother.
I love being back at work. I love my position now. I'm teaching more. I'm like a shop foreman, so kind of like doing a lot of teaching. I love it, man. I love it.
Well, Blizz, I wish you the best of luck in life.
Yeah, you too, Adam.
Blizzard, to end this stream, there's a question in there. I'm going to read it out loud for everyone. Maybe it's a good thing, because I do want to know about this one as well with each and every one of the sausages here. The question is, what advantages do men actually have in modern society?
Who asked that?
Where do we begin?
Where do I begin?
I can say, as you know, going back to the biology thing, it's stupid given that where we are today and modern life or whatever, but still things, physical attributes and things still play a big role in our lives, even though it probably shouldn't. But men have just biologically more testosterone, they develop more muscle, so they have advantages there over women. In day-to-day interactions with men, there is subtext and physicality and other things like that. We should rise above that, and but I think for decades, because of biological differences, women were, at home and men were out in the world. And as a result of that, they got to learn maybe things that women didn't get the opportunities to learn. Now that's changed quite a bit, and more women go to college than men. And so it's different, but I think the differences or advantages are diminishing significantly, but they're still there. They're still there a bit, but I think it's getting better all the time. That's my thought.
I think the main thing is no matter how advanced society humankind becomes, you're going to still have your primal instincts there. And to answer how what man's place is in modern society, that depends on the individual. Each person has their own points of views about what they hold value to them and stuff. Some people will say, I'm just fine with living in modern society. Me, since I was having a lot of health problems, I decided to move overseas for the lower medical costs. Everybody has their own choices to make in life. Just do what makes you happy.
Yeah, I would say, a lot of these guys that, and I don't know that who was it that asked that question.
I think it was just Icy because I didn't see it in there.
Oh, Felipe G. It was Felipe G. I've got to go, but I'd like to ask a question for people. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's Felipe G. I'm not speaking to him personally because I don't know him, but I would say a lot of people that think that men have so much disadvantage in today's society, I would simply ask, what type of disadvantage do you think you have? So the first thing I think come out of some of these guys' mouth is, well, if a woman divorces me, she can take half my shit. Okay, the fact that you have way more shit than her, that she can try to take half of your shit, tells me that you already have an advantage. You got to have shit for somebody to take half your shit. So you already are an advantage by having more shit. So it's not really a disadvantage, I don't think. Beyond that, I'm not really sure what disadvantages these guys think men have. I don't really get it, but I don't know of any women presidents. I don't know, I do know that the vast majority of wealth is in the hands of men. The vast majority of power in this world is in the hands of men. The people that make all the laws, these are laws that were based on the Constitution that was all men that devised the Constitution. So I don't. It's kind of a silly argument to me. It's just one of those things that it kind of gets people off track. But I mean, that would be my answer, I guess.
Thanks
That's a
for
pretty good
taking.
answer.
Thanks for taking my damn points. But that's something I've said a lot, man. The laws, primarily around the world, were written by men, and back in the days, it was written by men for men. And it's not too long ago that, especially here in America, that women even have a say in politics, right? Even can vote, right? Then you also have strength, endurance, size, certain abilities that we men have, and you can't deny it.
Hey, stop.
I mean, I always said that I'm tired of the bitching and complaining about this subject about, women have these advantages, even though men made the laws, men hold the vast majority of positions of power. Like, if you're complaining about laws and how they work in America, then your beef is with a man. If you're complaining about child support, you can go back into the Roman times. Like, it's not new. It's been around forever. Laws that men placed against other men, to hold them accountable. Because yes, men need to be held accountable too. But I believe it is a man's world. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a victim. It's a man's world, man.
It's changing though.
It's changing because I think it needs to be changed.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to know.
I'm not afraid to say that. I don't need, and I think a lot of the complaining is that we hear from men is because we're losing our leverage that we've always had. I'm not going to say privilege. I'm going to say leverage. We're losing that leverage. And I said it before. I think men are going to places where they have more leverage.
Well, I wonder.
I'm not gonna stay up here that much longer. I gotta go to sleep, guys. I know I could go another 3 hours.
We know this
if I had the time, but I really don't, man. Yeah, I really don't have the time tonight.
I have to ask TJ: is that a bad thing or a good thing? I saw his post.
You talk exactly. To be continued. Exactly.
It's probably a bad thing, but
Friday we going. We'll go until y'all want to stop. Friday. All right.
All right. I'll just say, everybody, take care.
Ciao, ciao.
I'd love to talk to you anytime.
Thank you guys. Arigato. Bye bye.
Thank you,
everybody.
Cisco.
Take care. Take care, everybody.
Adam.
Take care.
RS, thank you guys, man. Everybody that's been in the chat, everybody that's supported me so far, I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. I think the topic tonight, and if you heard the monologue, I think today's live stream solidifies a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about, man. I've said before that men are attacking men. Men are putting other men down. It's us. You want to blame it on the women. You want to blame it on the system. But just take a look around, man. We don't have issues. We may have an issue with the government. We may have an issue with women or whatever you want to say. But what I fear most, to be honest, when I go outside, I'm not looking over my back for the government. I'm not looking over my shoulder for a woman. If I'm going to be attacked, it's going to be by another man, probably in the same situation, the same scenario, same circumstances that I'm in. Do with that what you want to do. But it shows tonight. It shows. It's us. There was no woman in here throwing pot shots back and forth. That wasn't the women. There were women in the chat. It wasn't them, with the ad hominem attacks, bringing the family into it, trying to act like they don't understand that that's wrong amongst men. To us guys, we need to take accountability, man. So I'm gonna continue to try to give this space for men to come talk. The argument and the fighting, the personal attacks, it has to go. It's not welcome here. Because what that does is that drives away, people that just want to hear like regular conversations, man. Like we need a space where we could get away from that shit. I want to provide that space. So I got to do what I got to do. I'm not trying to, I don't give a fuck if you call it censoring or not. If you have a space that's positive, that projects good energy in today's world, you need to protect it because people are going to come for it and they're going to try to tear it down, and I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Oh, you're doing a good job.
I'm not going to allow that to happen, man. Thank you. I appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, it's growth, man. That's what it is. It's growth.
We all got growing to do, man. Especially me. I know I do.
No, we all do, bro.
So, Frank Tate, TJ, Aura Drip, Icy, everybody that came through, Kamal, What Time, MK, even MK and Q, Russ, Cisco, Adam, Icy, Wishy, Felipe G, everybody that watched from the bushes, I appreciate all of y'all, man. So we'll be back Friday night. If Calvin goes on, I'll go at 11:30. If he doesn't, I'll go earlier, probably 10:30 or 9:30. So just be looking out. I'll put the thing out for you guys. If you guys want to come through, appreciate y'all, man.
Can I ask one quick question? I saw something about a gentleman that just passed away, and he's got a channel. His last name is Black. I can't remember his.
Gerard in the Philippines. I forgot. Gerard Black Man in the Philippines or something. Michael Alexander, man. Peace, bro. All right, I'm gonna get some sleep.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's doing anything to help.
Hey, good night, Blizz. RS, take care. Icy, have a good one. Michael Alexander, take it easy. Felipe G, peace. TJ, peace.
Peace, man. Beat your life. Peace out, man. Enjoy Vietnam, man. Enjoy Vietnam if you still listen. Gerard Black in the Philippines. Yeah, I didn't really watch his channel, but rest in peace to him. Also rest in peace to all the victims in Texas of the flooding, man. That's horrible, bro. I think it's up to like 119 people deceased. Horrible. I don't care about blame. I don't care. Right. I just want to send my condolences to the families out there, man. So if anybody's watching in Texas, man, my condolences to the family out there, man. So to conclude this, man, like I said, man, it's easy to tear people down. It's easier to tear down than it is to build. But if we want the type of life that we say we want, man, we're gonna have to look in the mirror, man. We're gonna have to confront ourselves. We're gonna have to stop breaking the mirror. Stop trying to break other people's mirrors because you see your reflection in it. This is what I said before before we started this stream. I said this. We post, we argue, we seek out things to argue about, and at the end of the day, for what? For what? What do we gain? What do we gain besides winning? Not even winning an argument, because you didn't win shit. I love to let people talk because they expose the true character. The more you let them talk, the more they expose their true character, man. But when it starts to get disrespectful and it could possibly like push people away from my channel, then I really do have to shut it down, man. So hopefully it brings cell. But thank you guys again, man. I'm really signing off, man. I'm not opening the panel back up. Don't know, but no. All right, man. I'll see you guys Friday, man. If not, hopefully I'll see everybody in Icy stream in a few hours. I'll be back up for that. All right. Everybody else, take care. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're at in the world, man. Until next time, Blizzard Abroad.